Alrighty, so this is the replay video analysis for Week 1, Game 2, Pantsless versus Liz's team. Go ahead and run through the draft. Same as always, we'll do the little bit of the draft analysis and then go into individual replays following the player perspectives, starting at 5, working all the way up through 1. And then after about the 6 to 10 minute mark, if the lane stage is over, we'll do basically team movements and team fight analysis as a group. And this is like a 50-something minute game, if I remember, from the the data. So that's going to be painful. All right, so I'm just going to let the draft run out. I didn't actually watch this game live. I was standing in for another team, so I'm not really sure what's going to go on in here. I mean, I know you guys lose, but most of this will be a fun surprise. Wait to see all this as I'm doing the analysis. All right, so what do we have here? We've got Clock, Dazzle, Ursa, Bristle, Dusa against Snap, Underlord, Tusk, PA, Zeus. Okay, so right now it looks like a really bad Clock game. So Snapfire, Tusk, and PA can all get out of the Cogs trap. Underlord, you don't want to run into a Cogs trap for the most part because he's just going to Firestorm root on top of you, and you're going to wish that you weren't trapped inside of the Cogs with them. Zeus is going to be excellent. Zeus is not the kind of hero that gets a Force Staff to sort of save himself from Cogs. Zeus does like to get Ghost Scepters to like save himself from right clicks from enemy carries that are diving him, like the Ursa. But even if he gets the Ghost Scepter, he's still going to get hit by the Batter Assault damage. So that's not a good thing for him. So right now it looks like Zeus is the primary Clock target if you want to go for Cogs traps, but they have a lot of AoE stuns and damage and sort of control. So probably it looks like Clock is going to be going for splits. So what you're going to want to do is when the team fight starts, you're going to want to get in the middle of the enemy team and split them up with the Cogs. So not even like Cogs and someone inside, just hook shot into someone, stun them, walk back a little bit, drop the Cogs, and then everyone behind your Cogs is sort of trapped for your team to start killing, and everyone in front of the Cogs isn't able to come through them to save the teammate that is jumped. So you don't want to go for the person closest to you. You want to go for someone in the middle to split, unless of course you find the Zeus. In that case, the P4 Clock solo killing the P2 Zeus would be fantastic. That's a little hard to do, but even if you don't solo kill him, you just sort of occupy him long enough that it takes up the fight. That's a good trade too. Dazzle, you don't really have any great grave targets. I guess if the Ursa's going in and his BKB or his Enrage or coming off cooldown, doesn't have him yet, you can sort of keep him alive long enough to lifesteal his way back up. That's okay. The Bristleback doesn't have any combo here. It's just going to be a good strong laner. You guys are probably confident in that, and you're just assuming the Bristle's going to have a good game and sort of be that tanky frontliner that you sort of shove out in front of everyone else and hope that they sort of target him. The Dusa pick is odd. I don't mind that as much, but the problem is Dusa doesn't give you any way to deal with the PA. The PA is too mobile with the blink jump and the blur. The Dusa's not going to be able to sort of lock down and kill the PA. So your carry versus carry matchup is terrible because the PA is going to ignore the Dusa and kill everyone around her, and then the rest of the team will worry about killing the Dusa and all of her super tanky health coming from the mana shield. So you're basically putting the whole game on Ursa to try and jump the PA and kill him in between like an Abyssal Blade 2-second stun and Bashers, passive stuns. But if the Ursa can't get on top of the PA and kill him, you're going to have a really bad time otherwise because you don't have the magic damage to kill him. Bristleback's not going to be able to do much to PR than build up a couple quill stacks, but PA is going to BKB at some point in the fight, and if he doesn't do it immediately, it's just not that effective. Clockwork, you can't cogs him. He's just going to blink past, unless, of course, he uses blink to initiate. It just seems like a tough game for the Medusa to try and take on the PA. For their team, Snapfire is excellent against the Clockworks. So Clock loves having Underlord and Snap on his team because if you cogs and then use the Snap and Underlord spells within that, you get a lot of extra benefit from them. But playing against them, Since Clock doesn't want to go on the Underlord, he has to try to go on the Snap. Snap just jumps out of the cogs if he times it right. The shotgun slows him down, so the Clockwork can't run on top of him unless he like flanks in the trees. So Snap feels good, especially comboed with the Underlord. Tusk is even more mobility and chase. The Zeus is really sort of the weak link here, and the PA is clearly going to be a problem. As far as itemization, I expect Clockwork is going to need a Force Staff because there are 3 heroes that jump out of your cogs. So normally you get the Force Staff when the enemy supports do, and they start to get out of your cogs, and then you force with them and continue to run down with Battery Assault. But here, you're going to want Force Staff to not only continue to chase past the cogs, but you're going to want Force Staff to save anyone that gets caught in the Underlord route or gets caught on the wrong side of the Tusk shards. You're going to want to basically force your Medusa or your Ursa over the shards or over the Pit of Malice to get them where they want to go. Dazzle's not going to have time to get a Force Staff here. Dazzle's going to want to get an Aeon Disc because of the PA jumping in and critting on people and getting so much burst physical damage. Dazzle in the team fight is going to have to grave whoever PA goes on immediately. You have to expect that PA is going to get a crit probably sometime in his first 5 attacks, especially if he's smart enough to prep it. If you don't know about prepping PA crits, because of the way it's pseudo-random, you go hit a couple creeps, and when you don't get a crit like 3 times in a row, you stop hitting the creeps, and then you can't save that for the fight. Because the way it does the calculations for whether or not the next one's going to crit, it actually isn't completely random. It's pseudo-random. But either way, PA is going to get a crit sometime in those first 5 right clicks, which is within that sort of blink extra attack speed time frame. So Pants isn't going to have enough time to watch whoever PA goes on and like sort of guesstimate on their health when they're going to need the grave. Pants is just going to have to grave immediately. As soon as PA jumps on someone, you grave whoever that person is because you expect the next click from PA is going to be a crit and it's going to one-shot them. So Dazzle needs an Aeon Disc himself because if the PA jumps him, he either one-shots the Dazzle and then the Dazzle's grave is out of the game, or you go on somebody else and you don't have the reach for it because you're stuck somewhere else. With Dazzle holding the Aeon Disc, if PA jumps you, it keeps you alive long enough that you can glimmer yourself away or grave yourself if you really have to. But hopefully you manage to glimmer yourself or get away somehow with within the duration of the Aeon Disc, that you can still use your shallow grave for a real core in the coming fight. Ursa's going to want to get MKB and BKB. MKB to hit the PA. Obviously, Abyssal, that should go without. That shouldn't even need to be said, but Abyssal is top priority. MKB as well, and then you're going to want a BKB because they have a lot of magic slows and stuns. So Snapfire is going to slow you down with her spells. Underlord's going to reach you. Tusk is going to stun you. Zeus is going to mini stun you. The Ursa's one job in this game looks like jumping and killing the Phantom Assassin. And so you need Basher, eventually Abyssal Blade, you need MKB, and you need BKB. Probably Basher, BKB, MKB, back for Abyssal, in that order. Bristleback needs a pipe. A lot of magic damage coming out from the enemy team. There's no one else on your team that's going to be a natural pipe carrier. Bristle's also the natural halberd carrier. Clock can get a second one, but Clock is probably going to be slowed down, getting the typical blade mail force staff. Clock shouldn't go a spirit vessel this game. It should just be boots, maybe like a minor item like a magic wand, and then go straight into that force staff. Clock may go tank and get either a heart to stay alive longer, get more value out of the blade mail, and just sort of shove the Clock in as a sort of a secondary damage soak. Or you could go Ags and then just refresh all your abilities to double stun the entire enemy team again. That could be good, but Clock shouldn't get to the point where he needs a halberd. If the game goes that late, it's probably at like the 40, 50-some minute mark, which, again, this game goes to. But I don't imagine the P4 Clock's going to have enough farm for that. So Bristle needs the pipe, Bristle needs the halberd, and that's probably it as far as mandatory items. Everything else is sort of flavor. Dusa, basically just MKB is mandatory. Hurricane Pike is probably going to be pretty good. Again, same reasons as the Clock. You want to force yourself over shards, you want to force yourself out of pit, and you want to push the PA off of you if she does, for some reason, decide to jump you. Or the Tusk. You just Hurricane Pike, you get the long range, unlimited range right clicks, and if you're farmed up enough at that point, you either kill the Tusk in the duration of the Hurricane Pike, or you get the Phantom Assassin low enough that they have to back out of the fight. But that's not necessary, but the MKB is definitely necessary. All right, so let's look at strats, and let's see what it's calculated. It probably doesn't understand the lanes yet. Okay, let's drop strats for a second, and let's skip through until a couple minutes in so that the calculator can finish figuring out what the actual lanes are. Because strats is probably recalculating as it goes. So the way the program works is as the draft is going on, it sees the. Actually, I'll show you real quick. I don't know if I saw it last time, but basically the calculator is live, and so every time a hero is picked over here, it's recalculating your chances of winning the game, and it's guessing at what lanes they're going to be in and stuff like that. So the calculator needs some time to figure out what lane everyone's in. So let's see. All right, 8 minutes in, your lanes are probably established. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Ursa is safe lane core. Clock is off lane support. Deuce is core mid. Yep, safe. That looks right. Snap. Yep, safe. Did you guys end up putting Snap? Yeah, that's right. And then Tusk was off lane. Okay, so this is all good. This is accurate. So you guys have a 4% advantage in the early game. That grows to a 8% advantage super late game. So you have a small advantage the entire time. So your draft is a win, basically. You guys have an overall 58% chance to win. Why did that not lock? I don't know. And then, so, 58% chance to win against 42. So you got a good advantage. I don't know why it keeps refreshing that, but whatever. So the only lane that is different or is imbalanced is bottom lane. So it says Dire has a slight advantage. That's fine. That's just the Ursa matchup. It thinks that Ursa's going to have a bad time. I don't think that's true. I think Ursa should knock the shit out of Underlord. You guys will be great. Probably depends a lot on how well the supports do. If Tusk outplays Dazzle or vice versa, that's probably going to really control the lane because Ursa against Underlord is Ursa favored as far as I'm concerned. And Underlord's going to get his farm still, but I'm really not sure why that comes out. But of course, this is the AI processing a gajillion games, so maybe it works out that way. You guys have a advantage in physical damage, and you have a disadvantage in magical, which seems right. Again, that pipe on Bristle is going to be crucial, and Ursa really needs to dump the physical damage on people pretty quickly. All right, so that is pretty self-explanatory. We'll drop the strat screen, go into the draft, and again, we'll do the draft starting with the P5 and then work our way back up to, or all the way up to P4, or P1. What am I talking about here? Yeah. Oops, I shouldn't have skipped back. Alrighty. You guys have better sets than they did, so you're already a huge advantage when you have cool looking sets. Look at this guy didn't have barely anything. How he expects to win. Alright, player perspective for Dazzle. 2 sets of tangos, you probably gave the other 2 to your mid. Branches for, I assume, is going to be a magic stick later. And then it looked like 2 clarities and a mango. Not real thrilled about the 2 clarities. I don't think you're going to have as much time to use them. But you are against a double melee lane, so that's not terrible. And the Observer Ward. Of course, the Observer Ward makes sense. Your lane partner has also a good amount of regen, so that's really excellent. You guys brought a lot of regen. 4 sets of tangos, 2 salves. That's fantastic. That'll help you guys, if you do end up sort of losing a little bit. Ursa also has his own mango, kind of nice in case he needs the extra jump later to finish up a kill. Not super thrilled about the clarities on you, but that's the only thing that I think is less than perfect. The Observer Ward's still in your inventory, so that's just kind of a thing. Maybe you want to get the most value out of it, so you want to place it later. But the earlier you place it, so if you had placed it somewhere in this area before, they sort of got into this, region, you could watch to see where the Tusk places wards. Because if you have it here, you might see Tusk drop a ward here. You dropped it here right when you were over the stairs, so there's a small chance that Underlord, looking across the river, saw you place that. Or saw it disappear from your inventory, knows it's in this area. So I would say there's probably a 50-50 chance that they actually know where your Observer is right now, just because you walked past the stairs while Underlord was also at the stairs. Okay, you need to poison him. So this entire time you haven't poisoned. That was a mistake. So right now, I don't think you know where the other guy is, and so it's just the Underlord. But when the Underlord runs up and it's the two of you versus one, and it looks like he's going to stay to contest the rune, that's the perfect time to poison him. So you should have immediately ran up, thrown your poison touch on him, and then started to get enough attacks to keep the poison touch going. Even if he manages to nuke the two of you and get, what, 50 damage, you get the rune, and if he doesn't immediately back away here, he takes 3 or 4 extra right clicks because of poison touch. Looks like you tried to cast it really late and you lost vision. But you should have cast it like as soon as you saw him down here, because Ursa should have gotten probably 4 stacks of Fury Swipes on. Let me see. Ursa did go Fury Swipes first, right? Yeah, so he did. He might have been expecting you to go for that. So that was a missed opportunity there. You guys are both missing a little bit of health from Firestorm, which is not terrible, but Underlord should be missing more. You should have poisoned him, especially since you didn't see a second hero there. Alrighty, so you got your ward kind of over here behind the camp, so you're going to see any sort of movements to block your own small camp. And I assume that means you're going to start playing kind of in this area on the area just past the lane, which is good. That's perfect. Where you should be. Alright, so right now you just see the Underlord. Okay, so there are 3 top, and Clock actually saw this earlier. So you actually know that there are 3 top, and even if you didn't check the minimap, your teammates should have told you that there were tri-laning up top. This is the time that you need to pressure the Underlord. You guys are 2v1 right now. They're involved in some sort of skirmish, so they're probably not going to just instantly TP and run out, because if they do, Clock should be able to cancel that with a battery assault and just micro stun them. So Underlord is alone for probably the next 10-15 seconds, so you really want to pressure him right now. You want to throw the poison touch on him. Ursa should realize that killing the Underlord or pushing him out of lane is more important than the first wave of last hits, and you guys should really be just ignoring this whole creep wave and trying to kill the Underlord right now. So this is all a mistake. You right-clicking that range creep once doesn't make any sense. I don't know why you want to drop that low. Right-clicking those other creeps doesn't make sense. And not poison touching this guy right now is a huge mistake. You're saving this mana. You got 100%. Teammate's not going to show up for any time at all. You need to tell the Ursa, hey, dive this guy right now. If you do get that, that's nice, but this is good. Looks like Ursa pump faked it, but you didn't poison him, so Ursa doesn't have anything to go off of. So this is taking too long. He's building up stacks now, but yeah, it's too late. Okay, now you see the Tusk, so now you're in a traditional 2v2. You basically missed your chance to take a third or maybe even half of Underlord's health. So this is good. Tusk is going this way because your ward, you're going to see where he drops his ward. Unfortunately, he drops a sentry, so he kills yours, which is a shame. Alright. And it actually looks like you, because I heard the ward sound, but I didn't see it, but this is player perspective. So I think he just put an observer right there in that corner. That's a pretty common spot to put an observer ward here. I don't think you saw it, though. I think you were on the back side of the tree. So I think you're going to miss this. Okay, so you do, that's interesting. He didn't block your small camp with it, which is nice of him. But you do get the sentry ward D-ward, but you don't get the observer ward D-ward. That's going to be a big mistake. Excuse me, let me check to see if that's actually a thing. Okay, so the minimap is telling me there's a ward here, it's just not in vision right now. So there's somewhere, there it is, okay, right there. So he did plant it, and you were on the other side of the tree, so you missed that because you were too close to the lane, you weren't in your sort of supporty area up there, and that's a shame. This is a mistake, move that Iron Branch up into your inventory. There's no reason for that, +3 stats to do nothing. Good. Poison, walk, poison, hit, walk, poison, hit, walk. Or not poison, hit, walk, but poison, walk, hit, walk, hit, walk. So in between each action should be a step. That's not bad. I think he's going to get out of range here. Ursa should just keep farming. There's no reason for him to try and go for that. He just walk there for nothing. You should get these free last hits. Last hit that one. Good. Last hit this one. Nope, you missed it. Okay, so that was a minor mistake there. So the other 2 heroes are way out of lane, so they're not contesting. They are, where's my little cursor thing? They are way over here. Well, that's way too big, and you're way over here, which doesn't make any sense because that's on the new map. But basically, they are out of position, and they're not going to be able to get the sort of the XP from this camp here. So with the change to denying, you don't actually get any gold for denying that creep. So you went for a friendly creep deny, and you missed the last hit. The last hit would have given you gold. You got the XP either way. The deny doesn't give you any gold, and it denies the XP to the other team, but neither one of them were in XP range. So you don't even have to worry about denying creeps here, unless obviously you want to deny them eventually before they get to the wave, but you had enough time to last hit the creep and then deny him as he's running away. So that was a mistake there. You should have an extra last hit. This needs to be on CS instead of net worth. So you should have an extra last hit there. And then you would have still gotten the deny, but even if you didn't, you wouldn't have missed out on anything. Alright, so hitting this is good, so you should probably be able to deny that before it gets the wave, or Ursa should. That's a shame that they got that pull there, but you were out of position. There's nothing you could have done to block that. Now you can interrupt and challenge this now. You don't want to let it go for free. This is good. Kill that creep there, and then pull this in. You need to pull this camp right now into that wave. Okay, you got half of it. That's good. So basically 2 of your creeps are... Oh, that's not great. Okay, so you lost 1. So you only got 1 out of 4. That actually worked out pretty poorly later. But you got another creep wave coming, so you should be able to pull this. Yep, you're even looking at it. That's good. No, you need to go for the large wild wing. Okay, so you missed that. Yeah, this creep is going to walk past, and yeah, you missed that completely. So that was another minor misplay. So what's going on here is you've got a creep wave coming. So Ursa's up here doing his thing, that's fine. This creep wave is here, they're walking up, they're going to get here real soon. You even moved your camera down to see it. Alright, denying this is good. Now at this point you need to walk past this small one, forget that, and aggro this one, because hitting that doesn't aggro this guy. He's too far out of range, and so you need to walk past this guy, hit the big one, and walk it back. By hitting the little one and then killing it, okay, when it got closer and you killed it, it did finally aggro the large one, but even then it's too late to get this creep. You needed to have skipped past it, hit the wild wing that's in the camp, and then drawn that one out, because this one had been out of camp for so long you knew it was going to lose aggro in return. So this entire wave is now going to Underlord, because he's now going to get all this experience, whereas if you put that entire wave into 2 out of the 3 wild wings, you probably could have denied a lot of that. So you're giving Underlord and Tusk a lot of experience they shouldn't have gotten by missing that pull. That was a pretty big one. You should get this one pretty easy, assuming Tusk is uncontested. I think your Underlord is... Your Ursa's probably getting beat up a little bit. You both have a Sab. You still haven't moved this Iron Branch up. Okay, so you got some other stuff. You need to move the branch up and get the Clarities out. That's fine too. Either way, Clarities need to stay out in the backpack because you don't get any passive stat gain. So I don't mind this. That was an easy deny you could have gotten. I think you did get the last hit. You're hanging out in this area. You need to watch for another pull here on the side. If you're not going to stay near your camp, you need to make sure that Tusk doesn't pull this camp out, because you haven't checked the status of this one. I don't know what it is. I don't think you do either. That's a perfectly fine deny. That's nice. But again, yeah, see this pull right here? That's the one I was talking about. This is the side pull that I was just warning you about 5 seconds ago. So you went back this way. You denied whatever that creep was there, but Ursa could have gotten that. And really the most important thing was when Tusk aggroed this camp and started walking out sideways, you should have then smacked the other wild wing and pulled it down and made sure it didn't go to the wave. So by letting them pull this wave sideways, you're losing the lane battle, because now this creep wave is going to get away from Ursa and it's in a bad spot. This is that's Tusk's stack, I'm sure. So that's actually pretty bad for you. So now Ursa has to try and farm the other wave going into that camp. Well, it's good that you finally got the observer, but it would have been better to just keep the creep equilibrium somewhere in this area. Alright, you have 30 seconds to runes. The creep wave is going to push on their side, which is unfortunate. Ursa has nothing to do because he doesn't want to try and he doesn't want to try and farm a double stacked hard camp. So Ursa's wasting his time doing nothing. Actually, he's getting dove and he's going to die here, it looks like. And you're going for a pull. This is not a good time to go for a pull for 2 reasons. So not only is Ursa off screen somewhere getting fucked up, but you're also at the 5-minute room. So really you don't want to pull out here, because by the time you complete this pull, you're going to complete it at about 4 minutes and 54 seconds. And as you're completing that, assuming that Tusk is paying attention, you're going to be standing right about here in the wave connecting these creeps, and Tusk is going to be somewhere over here in this area. And so in the next 4 seconds to get to the rune, Tusk is going to get here at 5 minutes perfectly, and you're going to be about 10 seconds too late. So you're probably going to connect this creep wave, connect that pull, walk up here, watch them deny, go for some denies, and then you're going to get to this like 10, 15, 20 seconds too late, depending on how long you spend at the small camp. And of course that's not the case, because right now Tusk is diving your Ursa and fucking him up. but still, even if Ursa lives here and Tusk bails, Tusk is still going to beat you to the rune here. You really have to be playing for this rune here. You want to be shoving the creep waves into the enemy heroes. You want to be harassing them. You want to be doing something so if they're not paying attention to this, sort of timer and they don't beat you to it. So I'm kind of curious to see if you actually get the rune here. Okay, so that was the worst of both worlds. Okay, so you actually realized that the Tusk was getting killed late, and of course it's way too late to help. Ursa has his own salve, so he can heal himself. You're getting here to do nothing, and by walking away too early, you missed the pull. You did get the range creep, which is nice, but you should have pulled all 4 of these creeps into that one. You started walking away to the right too early, you missed up your own pull, and now you're standing here looking at your Ursa, who's got no health. Tusk and Underlord are both going to run back and get these runes before you, and you didn't get the pull. So, it would have been okay. It would have been better if you got in the pull, but now you missed the pull as well, and so like everything's wrong in this lane. So that's a shame. Ursa should use his salve, or you should use your salve on him, one or the other, that's fine. Alright, so you use yours, that's good. You gotta start going for runes, but again, of course Tusk is gonna beat you. Because, yeah, he was paying more attention. Okay, so you get up there. Alright, so this does give you an opportunity though. So now you just checked this rune, you went into the river, you saw that this one was empty, so it's obvious that Tusk beat you to that one. Chances are Tusk is going for this rune. Unless the mid laner has a bottle and he says, hey, knock it off, leave that rune. And that's what he should be telling because he's got an empty fucking bottle. Normally, the mid laner would tell him, okay, leave that. But otherwise, Tusk is going for this rune here. So, probably 60 to 75% chance Tusk is going this way, which means you have a very limited window right now where Underlord is by himself. And so you're 2v1, you need to come over here and harass him. You need to poison. Yeah, you're pausing here, and I don't know why, but that's really bad. You need to not stand right here. You need to run up. Oh, excuse me, sodas. You need to poison touch this Underlord, and then help Ursa get like 4 or 5 stacks on him. So it's a huge mistake to not punish this guy while he's 1v2. It makes sense to not do it while he's got the double creep wave. So maybe you guys are just waiting for this double creep wave to meet your own, so Ursa doesn't basically take too much aggro from these 8 fucking creeps. But once these creeps meet and they start doing something else, this is right when you need to be poison touching. You need to not be here. You need to come around the top side, drop your poison on the Underlord. Ursa is eventually going to realize he needs to ignore the creeps and start getting stacks on the Underlord, and you need to poison him so that you can get more of them. So there's the poison, that's good. You can go ahead and use your heal, so Ursa's already a little bit low. There's a big creep wave here, so your nuke basically does more damage with all the creeps nearby. So if you just get a solo heal, it doesn't do as much. But this is good, this is perfect. This is exactly what I was talking about, but you guys were a little late on it. Let's see if that turns into a kill. Oh, that's a shame. He saves him. You still kill him? I think you guys do. Okay, so that ended up working out. You guys did get the Underlord kill, but now you're way out of position. You have no health. You don't even have a salve anymore either, so you're in a terrible spot. You're down to 100-something health. Ursa's getting pretty low too, and you chased him way up here. If you had started that whole harassment 5 seconds earlier, Underlord doesn't get up to here. Underlord probably gets up to here and he dies. Tusk isn't able to save him. You don't take as much harass. You don't lose as much health. Ursa's able to pull the creeps all the way back here and continue to farm, and you're in a better spot. So it was a good kill, but you guys should have executed it a little bit earlier, and that little 5-10 second difference would have really changed how the lane goes. All right, so now you're off exploring. Gonna go ward mid, I guess. That's weird. Okay, so I don't love this sentry spot here, so it's highly unlikely that anyone crossed over the river to put a ward here. And if you think they did, you should have put the sentry ward down here so that it overlaps. It still covers the tower, so when you put the observer, it sees it, but it can also see further out into the lane. So if you put it like on this corner, or if you put it on this corner here on the opposite side, which they sometimes do, then you would have seen it. But I don't think the Tusk ever had a chance to come up here and ward this side of the river. I don't think any of their supports got to this tower, so this is kind of an odd sentry position. I would have rather seen you sentry here and then observer ward back up here on the tower. So I feel like that's a little bit of a waste. Maybe your mid laner was calling it just so he can secure mid runes, because it looks like Zeus has a bottle and he doesn't, so that makes sense. But in that case, don't need a double ward there. Not a real big deal, just like a minor efficiency thing. Split up the sentry and the observer ward combo sometimes. Alright, so you're going up here. You use a salve on him, I guess. That's good. Alright, now you need to go back to your lane, because I don't know what's happening here. You are just kind of hanging out, not doing much of anything. You got an observer on the way, that's good. I'm not sure what else is happening. She's getting dove again, whatever. Okay, so that was a little mistake there. So you were running back to lane, which is good. You need to be back in this lane. You saw that these creeps were going to miss. And so you need to go ahead and go for a stack, even though you're not going to get the pull. So these creeps are here. You're right here. The camp is here live. These creeps are over here. This is probably about when you want to aggro these creeps and start running down. You're going to miss this pull. Like, there's no way that you get to this camp, hit these creeps, run down here, and get to this intersection to pull those in. So you'd have to have like a blink dagger or some mobility spell or force staff, whatever, to be able to aggro them and really quickly force and, you know, sort of kite the projectile out to hit them here. So you've lost this pull. What you want to do is you want to stack. So this is now 650. Do you see that tusk? I don't think you did. So I don't think you see the tusk, but because it's 650, you miss the pull. You want to go for a stack. Ursa's in his own wave here. Ursa's not, you know, too far forward. He's not way up out here, so he's not in position of getting threatened. He's staying behind a little bit. So there's really not a lot of value to come over here unless you want to just dump a heal on him. But you really need to stack that small camp. So at the 654 second, you should be aggroing this camp and then walking it back out to the lane as if you were going to pull it, but then just pull it into an empty lane so it stacks at the right time. So that's an efficiency move. It's a pretty big one as the support goes if you do it too often. Alright, so you see the tusk there dancing around, that's fine. You're not doing much, just kind of hanging out here. Tusk looks like he wants to go for some damage. Not sure what's going on. You should poison him. There you go, poison, and you should nuke. So this is a good spot. There's 4 heroes here. You want to use that nuke so you get more damage. Or nuke up on this side. Either way, your Ursa is not full health, and you should be. Okay, so it's a good nuke. A little on the late side, but it's exactly the idea. You want to get it on several heroes here. I don't know why he's running forward, because he's just pulling the tusk further away from you. So that's a little odd. Excellent grave. Oh, that's lucky. You got the grave just in time before the Zeus lightning bolt. So fantastic timing on the grave. And looks like everything works out. Alright, not bad at all. So I'd say a little late on the heal was the only thing you could have done better there. If you dumped the heal earlier, it would have been ideal. Excellent. Another good poison. This should be another good kill while Tusk is still back in base. Not even back yet. Why am I looking for Tusk perspective? I don't know. But that worked out perfectly. So that's fantastic. And again, you need to keep dumping your heal on that Ursa. So Ursa's a little on the low side. He's only got 300 of 1,000. No salve, no tangos. Do you have any tangos left? You should have actually given him both of your one or both your tangos and then healed him, because you need to keep topping him off with health as much as you can. But otherwise, this is good. That's another mistake. You walked up to this camp at stack time. It was 54 seconds. You looked at the camp, decided not to stack it, and then walked away from it. Another huge mistake. So this camp should be triple stacked right now, or in the next 4 seconds. But right now it's going to be, you know, one stack. It's not, or unstacked. It's going to be just a single creep camp. But you should have gotten 2 big stacks off that. That should be, you know, 9 or 10 creeps in that area. This is a good spot to heal your Ursa, by the way. Going back. But you really got to work on stacking this small camp, especially when you're doing nothing. You're just kind of walking in that area, not doing much. It's a perfect time to just stack. You know, nothing else is going on. You know, run up, dump a heal on your Ursa, and then come back. Okay, so now, whatever you're doing right now makes no sense to me. I don't know why you're hiding back here. So you missed the stack. You're not healing the Ursa. Ursa has less than half health. Is your courier flying out with something? Looks like, yeah, you're waiting on a free camera. You are waiting on your courier to get out to you with a bunch of shit, which is good. But even though you're waiting for your courier, you shouldn't be hiding back here. So you're doing nothing for your Ursa. Ursa's up here. He's a little bit farther than he wants to be, but that's okay. You also have no vision out here. You got good sentries, but you didn't get any observers to survive. You want one like on this tower, or at the top of this stair, or at this intersection here. Oh, excuse me. So it can like watch this whole area so Ursa sees a gank coming. And actually on the minimap, since I switched to free perspective, I can see yellow is here. Who the fuck is yellow? Yellow is Zeus. Okay, so yellow's coming down, and Zeus is gonna, you know, maybe he's buying like an arcane boots or something. But since he's all the way out here, he's probably gonna gank You being over here on this side of the map, just kind of hiding in your lane, does nothing. You need to be at least up here in this shaded area, but ideally you want to be up on this side. You want to see if Tusk is roaming around this area. You want to see if ganks are coming in. You know, I can see it on the mini-map because I've got free camera, but from player perspective, this area is dark, so you guys don't know what's going on here. Is that your ward? How do you have... No, that's not your ward. You don't have vision there. So there's a gank coming in, and you are absolutely not in the position for this. So Ursa, I'm making a prediction here. I haven't seen this yet. Ursa is about to get ganked right here by 3 people, Underlord, the Tusk, and the Zeus, and you're not able to protect him. You need to be up here or on the far side of these camps, because without you know, basically body blocking for him and tanking the gank, you're leaving your carry, you know, out to dry. So it's good that you walk back for the courier if you think that they have a ward here and Tusk is going to snipe your courier. Otherwise, you don't need to walk that far back. Let's see what's going on up here. So that gank never showed up. Oh, here it is. Okay, so the gank did eventually show up. Good grave, you can get out. If he doesn't have a root, you should TP. Looks like you're going to walk out. You might die. That's interesting. Okay, so I thought the Tusk was going to kill you there. You could have graved and then TP'd, but I guess you were maybe thinking the Underlord was going to throw your root and cancel your TP, so you running away is fine. But now you have no life. You have to basically TP anyway. Ursa's going to be left in the lane now with less than half health, so that's not great. You probably could have used your heal on him before you left, and that would have just been, you know, one extra little bit of something to contribute to your lane your lane partner before you go. Yeah, soda. This is terrible. Alrighty, let's see what happens now. Clarities, lots of sentries, and observer. That's alright. You are walking all the way back. Looking at your hero, that's cool, okay. Good D ward, so nice little double ward. You saw them start to pull. It's fine. You missed that, or you're late for this, but looks like it's okay. So that's not your tree, is it? I don't think that's your tree. Unknown. You lost your mango tree and they took it? Wow. I hope not. Okay, see, you graved yourself, but you're not TPing out, even though you had it on cooldowns here. Yeah, see, that was kind of odd. Oh, okay, I see the Medusa's coming to finish the kill. So if the Medusa wasn't there, then you definitely should have graved and TP'd yourself out, because then you would have, you know, basically not died. But I guess you were just baiting the Zeus to stay too long, and then the Medusa would get the tree or get the kill. That's fine. Medusa doesn't have anything to kill the tree, so he has to run away. That's fine. For a second there, I was just really confused as to why you didn't just grave and TP out. But the Medusa player must have told you he had the haste room, and he was going to be able to sprint in time to clean up that kill. Alright, getting a salve. That's good. Probably should have bought one of those salves earlier on, but Versus doing okay here. He has been falling behind as far as I can tell. Alright, you need to move the salve up in your inventory. You've got a dead space here. You know, the chances of you needing it are pretty low, but yeah, so that was kind of silly. You ran up into the tree that you knew was there, and you didn't have a way to kill it. So I'm not actually sure what you're doing here. Let's go back here. So right now you're invading enemy territory. I guess maybe you're thinking about going to throw a sentry down, but you saw that this tree was here. You actually died in front of it, you know, looking at the tree and Zeus. Medusa came up here and killed it, and then pinged the tree. So you guys know that they have this tree here, and of course, you know, the tree functions as an observer ward. It gives vision. It's not like a dead tree like one of these. So you're in vision right now, and if you had brought like a set of tangos or something to eat this tree, that would have been fine, because then you're basically, you know, suiciding to kill the tree, but I wouldn't have done that while you don't have TP scroll on cooldown, because then you could run up, eat the tree, suicide, grave yourself, and then TP out, and basically you kill their mango tree for free. But right now, running into the tree to, you know, just basically steal a mango and die is a terrible game plan, because, you know, even if you plant one of these wards, they're going to see it. You know, the Tusk obviously sees you and is going to kill you there. It's smart of him to sort of trap you in, and now you're stuck. So that was a straight feed, and I don't even know what the theory on that was. Like, I don't know why you went for that. I'm very confused. Because you didn't go to kill the tree, you didn't plant a ward. You couldn't have planted the ward without being spotted, and you didn't even have an item that was possible to kill the tree. Okay, now you get another set of tangos, but you should have had that beforehand. So now I bet you're going to go suicide again to kill that tree with this set of tangos. That's funny. Kind of curious to see if that happens. Where are you? I'm looking around, TPing. Okay. Alright, we're at 12 minutes. I think the laning phase is over for you, so we're going to go ahead and rewind and start watching from the P4's perspective on Clockwork. Alright. Alright, so here is the Clockwork. Is this positive 12? I gotta rewind some more. Yeah, alright. That's fine. Alright, so Clockwork is coming out to lane with Windlace, 2 branches, 2 sets of tangos, and a mango. Don't love that at all. So the Windlace is going into Tranks. That's good. That's the proper set of boots for the support. 2 branches, you're not getting much from the stats, so I hope you turn that into a magic wand later, but right now that's not helping you. You want more consumables. You want a salve, or you want 2 more mangoes. You really don't need the gold waste into these. Hiding here is perfect, so this is fantastic. You guys used to do this thing where you'd stand at the top of the stairs and sort of like stare and glare angrily across the river. Now you guys are being a little sneakier, hiding in the trees on the side, so I don't mind that. Battery assault first, that's good. So you're going for the harass. You know, the other play is to go for cogs and block your own creeps, but you know, it's really sort of a high level play, because if you don't benefit from the creep block, you're in a bad spot. Unfortunately, Bristleback is blocking you. Now you see 3 and you need to back out. So that's good. That worked out really well. You guys see 3. You're gonna get stunned here, whatever, that's fine. Huge waste. Okay, so that was a big mistake. You should not cast Battery Assault there. You got stunned, whatever, you lost a little bit of life. You wasted a huge amount of your mana, a third of your mana pool, and you probably got like 1 Battery Assault proc off that. So there was no reason at all for you to cast your spell there. And now you don't have it here to contest for the rune, so that was a big mistake. You basically traded 100 mana for like 20 magic damage. That was terrible. So I wouldn't have done that. You know, once you spotted those guys and started running away, you were okay. They weren't going to like dive you into the tower either at level 1. Not a great block, but it's a block. You know, you're doing the thing. So the better way to block is to zigzag your mouse as you're going back and forth, and just left click, right click, you know, movement orders, so that you kind of like your character does a Z sort of alligator walk up. That's fine too. You still got to block out. Good use of the cogs here, or the Battery Assault here. Now you see 3, so you got to run. That's fine. We're still tri-lane. You probably weren't expecting them to continue to tri-lane this late, but this is good. You're dragging 2, maybe 3 of them off of the lane while you're doing this big run around. You need to eat a tango and then go back to the lane, so that's good. Not bad at all. Don't mind this too much. Move up. I don't know why you're standing here AFK. You need to be closer up to the lane now. You need to be standing sort of in this shaded area on the other side of the trees, so that Bristleback can see if he's about to get triple ganked. Move up a little bit. You need to be right here contesting this, or you're going to go for a pull. I'd be surprised if you got this pull uncontested. That'd be really good. Snapfire's not paying attention. Snapfire should really break this pull, so that was actually good that you got that. Excellent use of the tomato to ruin your own creeps here, and then you got to protect it. This is probably too far. I wouldn't go for this, so your creeps are out here. PA can jump in to help her guy. You don't have help here. Yeah, not terrible. But now you really need to not tank that. Don't bring them in connect. Bring them all the way to the tower. And that's actually good. You can go ahead and tank them here. Keep them outside of tower range. That's perfect. You don't want them inside that tower ring. And yeah, that's good. Leave your Bristleback to take this XP himself. Go contest this. You need to be right here. Perfect. Good spot. Right-click the PA once when he's turning. Okay, so that's probably my fault, because I mentioned the thing in the previous game you were playing Clockwork about not right-clicking when you're chasing, because the pause when your character stops moving to do the right-click lets the enemy character get far enough away from you that the Battery Assault, you know, range ring misses because it's so small. The thing with that is when they stop and turn, you still then do want to right-click them. So you only don't right-click with the Battery Assault when they're running straight away from you and you're behind them and you don't have a movement speed advantage, or you're, you know, on the edge of your Battery Assault range. But if they stop and turn and they're going to fight you, you still want to right-click them. So minor thing there. You get these wards here, but you're not using them. You should block that small camp. So this small camp up here has been an issue for a while. You need to block that. Alright, so that's good. Don't run away though. Soak this XP. So Snapfire is here pulling this wave. Snapfire is going to get half this XP from killing these guys. You still want to stay in this area so you get all this free XP from all these other creeps dying. You don't have to contest it if you don't want to, because now you're probably aggroing a little too much damage. You need to just eat another tango and just hang out. Okay, so it looks like you thought about going for a spell combo, and then you saw the PA, thought better of it. That's good. Eat this tree though. You're missing 200 health. You need to eat that tree. Perfect spot. Cogs. Okay, so I don't know why you're not cogsing. That was a good skip. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm going to go back and I want to watch that slow motion. Because there was something you did really well there, and there's something you did not so well there. So you're still in the area. You're soaking up XP. You did need a tango. That's fine. You run up. You see that the Snapfire is just a little bit out of position, and you immediately go for the battery assault. That's excellent. And then you end up sidestepping the shotgun blast. Now, I'm not sure if that was intentional or if you just happened to do that, but that's fantastic. You hit her, she misses the shotgun blast. That's good. You dance around again. You need to pop the cogs here though. Right now, this is the moment where you want to use the cogs. When she kind of did that little spin, missed the shotgun blast, and you kind of walked around with her, you need to then pop the cogs and hold her in it. Not just because you still have 3/4 of your battery assault damage in, but because once she then gets into the cogs, then you can start right-clicking her freely without worrying about her getting away. But she's about to run up here. You're about to lose her in this creep wave here, and if you continue to chase her, yeah, the bristleback might be able to help, but you're going to lose probably half your battery assaults to these creeps here, and then the Snapfire is going to be within the the protection range of the tower. She's going to get the extra armor, the extra healing, and then maybe the PA decides they're going to turn and go on you instead. So you really need to lock the Snapfire out of range of the PA and keep them sort of separated. There's a courier here. Maybe you decide to go for the courier instead. You get 2 more procs on the battery assault. Okay, you're not going for the courier at all, so you miss the courier. You don't cogs. Now would still be a good time to cogs because you hit both of them and you mana drain them. So that was a mistake. You should have cogsed right there to then hit both of them and push them off you and save yourself, because now you're in a bad spot. And at some point you should still cogs once you get far enough away from the PA. Like right now, cogs, and you push her back. Cogs, nothing. And you're just going to let it out. Okay, so there's no reason for you to hold the cogs there. I'm not really sure why you did that. Even if, would have gotten the bristle, in a weird position, he can just walk away if he doesn't want to fight it. Or he can try and build a couple more quill stacks. And you probably get 1, maybe even 2 of the heroes to bump into the cogs, and then it does some more damage to mana. So you dying with the power cogs was a complete waste. You should have cast the cogs at some point. I think you should have cast it early while Snap was here. You also could have cast it while they were running after you. You could have basically cogs blocked this sort of gap in the forest, and then basically by cogsing right here, you would have locked both heroes on that side, and then they wouldn't have been able to chase you. And then when you were right here, there was a point where you were far enough away from the PA, in between her right clicks, that you could have cogs and then pushed her back. So a lot of chances to use it. I'm not sure why you saved it the entire time. Alright, back to your perspective. Looks like he's going to get the PA kill with the quills, which is really nice. You should be able to chase him down. Yeah, 1 more set of quills. That's a kill. Good shit. And he gets the Snapfire? No shit, that's good stuff. That worked out really well. So, and it would have worked out even better if you had used the cogs, because then they would have been stuck in place for so long that Bristleback would have been, basically holding them there for his quills. Alright, so good right click. You got 2 free CSs. No need to deny that. You need to stay here and get that range creep, so that's a really minor issue. You took the 2 free CS when Bristleback was out of lane, and then once your core came back, you kind of realized, oh, I'm the support, I can't take that last hit, and you walked away. The thing is, Bristleback was so far away, he was over here, you should have stayed and gotten that range creep. It was impossible for Bristleback to run up and right-click that range creep in time, so that was still your CS. The first 2 are definitely yours, and you got them, but you should have gotten all 3. So missing that last one was just gold wasted for no reason. Although I do understand sort of leaving the lane for your core, or the CS for your core. Your camera's in a weird position. Oh no, wait, this is player perspective. My camera's in a weird position. Let's go back. Okay. Not a great spot to attack. Okay, it's fine. Chase. Good. Oh, late on the cogs. That's unfortunate, but might have worked out for you, I guess, if there's another hero back there. That's unfortunate that you didn't catch the PA because I think that would have been a good bit of damage there, and then PA would have been basically sort of threatened to blur, or not blur, but blink out. Looks like you're going for runes, I guess. You need to go harass more. So there was no reason for you to do that. Whatever that little walk was where you were exploring, there's no reason to do that. So you're letting the Snapfire pull this creep wave here. So Snapfire aggroed that creep wave and walked off, and you saw that. This is fantastic position for Bristleback. You don't have to worry about this, but you need to be on this side contesting the Snapfire. You standing out here in the river is doing absolutely nothing. It's way too early to start guarding the rune. If you think that the Snapfire is going to contest you for the rune and you want to stop that earlier, you need to be up here basically holding her out of position and trying to nuke her and damage her. Because you have full health, you got both your spells ready, you just cast both these, that's 180, and you probably take Snapfire down to half health, and then she doesn't feel safe enough to contest the rune. So you're just wasting your time right now. This last 10 seconds was completely wasted. And looks like you're still just guarding the rune here. Alright, so Snapfire misses the pull, probably trying to pull through. That's kind of advanced. Alright, Cogs and Battery Assault. Okay, you kind of sidestepped that one. Looks like you're going to get a Courier. It's a consolation prize, I guess. But you should have gotten the Cogs on the Snapfire. Now it's okay to go for the rune, but looks like now you're going back in the fight. Okay, so that's a waste. You Cogs, so you ran in, you had already committed your battery assault elsewhere, you cogsed without a way to interrupt or to slow down the Snapfire. The battery assault sort of micro stuns are what keep you from, or keep the Snapfire from jumping out, and the Snapfire just jumped right over your cogs, and so you basically wasted, a lot of your mana there doing not a whole lot of anything. The Snapfire wasn't threatening the Bristleback, so you didn't save Bristleback's life by popping those cogs, and you really want to use them together. Alright. What happened to the other boundary? Yeah, are you going for this one, or what's going on here? Okay, you are. You have a lot of health, a lot of mana. 4 tangos of your original 6, I think. You need to trade more. Bristleback is taking a lot of the brunt of, sort of their harassment, and you're not doing much. You need to run up. Okay, right there, Battery Assault and Cogs. You let them see you. You kind of didn't use the trees to your advantage to sneak up on them, and they got away. Oh, this is a good chance. Go for that. Battery Assault, Cox. Battery Assault, Cox. You already used his blink. So that was a mistake. You saw the PA sort of do this little, loop-de-loop right here. You could have ran up to that tree, and then, and this is something about using Fog of War. You don't want to run through this gap here. So right here, it's kind of hard to tell. Why does this not work? Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell, but right here, this is actually a pretty good-sized gap. And so when you run up this way and you run into this gap, you're basically seen from this entire viewing angle right here. So I think the PA was able to see you and then back off. What you really want to do is you want to try and keep vertically underneath this tree, which is kind of hard to do. But if you can keep that tree on the other side of you, then you can get closer to the person that you're trying to gank. So you run up, you sort of, whoops, what the fuck am I doing? I got the wrong tool. And you want to run up to this tree, use the tree right here, and then just sort of pop out from the side. It doesn't take too much longer, but the extra time it takes in walking is worth it when you come right out and the PA is right on that side, because then you can Battery Assault Cogs. She doesn't have the blur or the blink anymore, and you basically get a free kill there. But unfortunately, the way that worked out, PA saw you, was able to turn around. PA actually thought about it, started coming down this way again with no life, and then changed her mind when she saw you and ran away. But you should have gotten that PA kill there. So that's unfortunate. Alright, so Snapfire has a Clarity Pop. You're the person that needs to break these. You're not level 4 yet, which is when you get Flare, or I hope you get Flare at 4. But you still need to run up and challenge the Snapfire. Don't let her pull that camp out. Okay, that's good. Chase her away. I wouldn't have used the Battery Assault there. That was a lot of wasted mana. I definitely wouldn't dive into the tower because you're going to lose a lot of health. So that's kind of wasted time. Now you're running around not doing so much. Nothing to side pull, unfortunately. And your wave is way too far pushed in. This is not a good spot for you to dive. You want to dive in on the backside. You want to pull the creep wave off. So the thing that you probably want to do at this point is your Bristleback is 6. What's everyone else's levels? Da, 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 da. Okay, so Bristle is 6, PA is 4, Snapfire is 3. So Bristle has an excellent advantage in levels here. You've got the siege creep here, so you've got your wagon that's going to do a lot of damage to the tower. Bristle's basically nuke this wave down, they're about to die, and then you're going to push into this tower. What you should be doing right now is you should be standing over here in this area. You should take the next creep, which is the creep wave, which is coming up here. Let's see, these creeps are down here behind your tier 2, so the enemy creeps are somewhere here behind this tier 2. You stand here when the creeps come out, like you can stand right here so that they don't see you from this side, but you can still see along this angle. When the creeps come up, you run into the wave, aggro them, pull them down, either pull them into this camp, pull them in this camp, or even pull them in the tower. It doesn't matter. Just pull them somewhere. Get rid of them. That way, Bristle, an entire creep wave, and a siege catapult can run in, do a lot of damage to this tower. Bristle can think about if he wants to, dive the PA and try and build up 4 or 5 quill stacks. And then if you pulled this creep wave here into the small camp, you can then turn around and come back in, and then you can get a cogs battery assault trap on the heroes that Bristles are diving. And so it's a huge advantage because you basically have all your creeps pushing in. Siege creep is going to hit the tower, so it's good damage on the tier 1, but you definitely want to sort of focus your tower pushes around your siege creeps, or the catapults. And then when Bristle dives, you dive from the backside and you get them. But the way you sort of like walked up this front and just sort of, reminded them, hey, I'm here too. You basically just scared them off. They hide behind their tower here. Bristle just gets to freeform a little bit, which is great. But now you don't continue to push your advantage. The way you'd, sort of even excel even more, even though Bristle's, winning the lane, you want to win the lane as much as you can. And that's basically by pulling the creep wave out, kill it in the small camp, or just ignore it in the small camp after you've pulled it, and then attack from the backside. So you basically pinch them between you on this side, Bristle on this side, and they just get fucking stuck in this terrible area in between. So either someone has to TP in, or they have to run to the trees, and then Bristle knocks out half this tier 1's health. So you're missing out on a lot of that right now. Looks like you're thinking about side pulling again, which is okay. Not the worst thing in the world. Shit. Got them all. Now you need to block. So Bristle's going to go with the camp, or one of you's going to go with the camp, and then the other one should be soaking up XP or blocking. Really, Bristle should be going for this, and then you should be contesting the small camp, because you saw a flash of something. So even on your map, because I was on player perspective, you saw someone up here flash for a little bit, so you know that they're pulling the small camp in, and you really need to be there to soak up some of that XP and then contest the Snapfire. You being here to just get this one right click on the large satyr isn't worth as much as soaking up all this XP or splitting the XP with Snapfire and potentially harassing her back out of lane. Okay, you didn't even get the last hit on that satyr too. You missed. So you just gotta time your excuse me, time your right clicks a little bit better. So now your creep wave is pushing the tower, and then you're in a unfavorable spot. It's unfortunate. They just dewarded the thing you had blocking the small camp. Too far, you're not going to get that cogs trap in there. Yeah, and now same thing. Bristle's shoved into the tower, but he's got a full wave defending, and he's not in a good spot. So it's okay. And Bristle is winning the lane, but you guys should have crushed this lane. Like if this was a pub, PA should be so mad at his team that he's like rage quitting and destroying his items. Like you could have really ruined the PA's early game. And I think PA is why you lose the late game. So the more you do now, the bigger later. Okay, so that's something else I kind of want to talk about. So I just saw you put down the branch and eat it for the tango. That's not a support thing, and you really don't want to get into the habit of doing that. So putting down branches and eating them is a mid thing. The reason is, let's go to free camera perspective. The mid players here, the mid players are fighting for creeps here. There's really no trees close by. So for the mid player to leave their wave here, run all the way up here, eat this tree, and then run all the way back means they miss probably 4 CS. It's not really worth it. Plus, the tangos that they get are donated as opposed to being bought by themselves. So by putting down the branches, they get a few early stats to try and last hit with, and then they basically double the value of their donated tangos. With supports, it's not excellent for you to waste your branches like that. You're throwing away your gold. Financially, it's more cost effective to use a regular tango because the iron branch only doubles it. So for the cost of 50 gold, you're basically getting the healing that a tango would have actually only cost 30 gold. So you're throwing away 20 gold for no reason. You're removing one of your stats, which is, only +1 to everything, but that's something. And you're not getting as much efficiency out of it. So try not to do that. The only exception is if you're a support and you put down the branch so that your core can eat the tree. If you had planted that and then let Bristle eat it so that he could get double health and your Bristle could go from 600 to a little bit more, okay, he's savving. But either way, then that's okay because you're basically taking your net worth and you're transferring it to the net worth of your cores, which is perfectly fine. But you yourself eating it, that's a huge waste. And that's just sort of a future thing. If you're going to do that, don't even spend the money on iron branches. Just buy normal items, get your early boots or whatever, and then just have the extra money for another set of regular tangos or a salve or another mango, so you can spam your trap combo one more time. All right, enough on that. And Snapfire is missing all those shotgun blasts. It's pretty nice. Okay, you kind of dancing around this lower area is not as effective. I understand you just basically dodged a gank here, but you realize they have vision on that area, so you've got to do something else. Bristleback is probably at the point where he can solo this lane, and you got to tell the rest of the team, hey, does anybody need help? Do you need to gank something? Or you got to make some action happen here on this side. Like, that was kind of weird. PA is now on the other side. This is fine if you can get both heroes to chase you, because then PA isn't last hitting, but it doesn't look like PA is chasing you as much. She's throwing the dagger and then going back to the wave. Okay, so this is one of those times I was talking about earlier. So Bristleback is diving with the tower. If you're over here, you need to pull this creep wave off. So these creeps are hitting the tower. That protects Bristleback because the tower is going to aggro to the creeps, and Bristle can basically play in this area without fear of getting smacked by this giant fucking rock that does 90 damage. So this next creep wave that's coming up real soon, you have to pull this off if Bristleback doesn't dive into the same area. If Bristleback dives into the creep wave, then obviously there's nothing you can do about it. But if Bristle starts going for the PA and he starts trying to build up quill stacks over here, you absolutely have to make sure that the creeps don't get in the middle of that fight. Okay, Bristleback pushes past anyway, so it's not a big deal. Doesn't matter. And he's going to pull the creeps through. You should stack. This is 852. You should stack this camp right here. You missed a chance. So as you're walking around doing nothing in this bottom area, whenever the clock starts to get to that 52, 53 timer, just walk up to the closest camp and then just aggro this at 53, 56 seconds. Anywhere between 54 and 57 probably works. And then just drag it out to the side and then double stack that camp. But you just kind of like waffled in this area doing nothing. And this should be a double stack right now. But you basically got no efficiency just by kind of doing that loop. And of course, Bristleback this entire time is doing something without you. So it's not like you're helping the lane either. You're just kind of in the same game that Bristleback happens to be in. You also need more wards. So you've been losing this battle here. The Snapfire has been out dewarding you, and you need to keep it up. Because their whole game depends on PA. PA needs this lane to go well. They need the farm. And if PA just keeps getting shat on, then you guys have a great chance to win, even though you should already have a great chance to win. So this is a good example. So Bristleback had a 2 level advantage, and it's now dropped to 1 because nothing else has happened in the past minute. I feel like the earlier couple minutes were doing better, and probably the last 90-some seconds of the game have been good for PA because you haven't done anything sort of offensive. Okay, that's a good one. Fortunately, PA blinks in with you, so you got to kill one of those early and then get out. So as soon as PA jumps into the cogs with you, you have to give up on attacking the tusk and then kill one of your own cogs and walk out. But for some reason, you didn't actually deny your own cogs. It only takes 1 hit if you're denying and then run away. So you actually waited for the cogs to expire before you managed to get out. So you've got to, as soon as you know the cogs trap is bad, turn around, deny a cog, and then walk out of it. Because they still get hit by the 2 adjoining cogs if they walk out of the circle trying to chase you down. So that was it's a clockwork thing. And of course now you're dead at the 10-minute mark, which is unfortunate because you may lose room control for top. Bristleback is probably perfectly fine here. He's got such a good level advantage. Bristleback doesn't need anybody. But your team wants those fucking rooms, and so you really should use the rooms. Where's your camera? Like, you're alive, but your camera's not doing anything. Why is your camera up here looking at nothing? I guess you're just playing off the mini-map, which is kind of cool, but... Alright, so you got 1. Kind of curious to see if you get both. It'd be interesting. You do get both. Fancy. Should be throwing this flare all the time too. Now that you have the flare, when you see an empty wave, go ahead and nuke it and push it. If you see heroes that are getting into a skirmish fight somewhere else, throw it so that they have the vision. That's too deep. You can't chase that. Yeah, you need to back off this, especially now that Bristleback saw that TP. There are actually 4 here, so you definitely need to get back. Bristle needs to leave. You should be telling him that there's 4 people here over voice. I saw that, and so you should have seen that probably 5-10 seconds before it started. So you should have warned him, and Bristle should not have kept diving that way. Because if he turned around and walked the other direction, Bristleback lives there. But he actually dove the tower into 4 people, and you guys knew about it. So that was not excellent. They're just kind of hanging out, watching Underlord, doing RPG things, exploring the world. But this is not great. Throw that flare. This flare should be, early game. It doesn't have to always be off cooldown. Late game, mid game, I hope you don't leave your rocket flare on cooldown this long. This rocket flare needs to be doing things. Even if you're not aiming it at a creep wave to try and get, some CS or push a wave in, you need to be throwing it into these jungle areas while while the heroes are missing. So you only see 1 person on the map. Everyone's in their lanes still. The lanes are occupied, but only 1 person is actually showing on their lane. So 4 of the enemy heroes are somewhere else, you don't know where. You need to just throw these flares in these long diagonal arcs just across the map just to help spot where the enemy heroes are. Because if you don't do that, then you're sort of missing out on a lot of extra information that you're getting for basically free. The flare costs 35 mana. You're getting more than 1 mana a second. So every 30 seconds you're getting a free flare. And if you're not using your cogs trap, and the cogs trap only costs 180, that doesn't scale. So as long as you have 180 mana, or let's say 180 plus 35, you should be throwing the flare out because you only need to save 180. Your combo is 180. You're probably not going to get a chance to cast it twice. 22 seconds, 15 seconds, yeah. So it's not a big deal. Constantly throw this flare out, especially when you're full mana, and if you're ever above that sort of 200 mana point. Just for vision, just pick a random camp. Doesn't matter. Pick this one, this one, this one. I would probably pick one over here, or you can just aim it at the lane and just throw it in whatever line crosses the map the most. But you're wasting a huge part of playing Clockwork as a support. That extra vision is huge. Urn is a bad choice here. There's no reason for you to go Urn into Spirit Vessel. You don't have a huge healing enemy hero. There's no Alchemist, there's no Huskar, there's no Morphling. PA is going to lifesteal a little bit, but that's not really what keeps PA in the game. So your Urn is a huge waste. I understand that Urn is sort of standard for support Clockwork, but you got to adjust the build for what the game needs. Urn is absolutely not helpful here. I'd be very surprised if you got any good Urn Spirit Vessel casts in this game. Okay, so that's unfortunate. Ursa's going the other way. You just need a cogs to block. Okay, so he blocked. Okay, that was bad. So Ursa's going in for a fight. Ursa has 3 people going for him. The Snapfire, the Underlord, the Tusk is rolling in. Tusk fucks up his shards, and he blocks himself, which is okay. The only reason that you should be using cogs right here is to save the Ursa. So you can see Ursa's about to start running away in a second. You want to position yourself to the right or offset of the Ursa some way, so that when you cast your cogs, it blocks these other heroes out, and Ursa has an escape path. So like right here, not yet, not yet, not yet. You're with the Ursa, so that's kind of bad. Here's okay, but the problem is you're now within range of these other heroes. So you basically cogs yourself in with the Tusk because you turn around, ran back. If you had ran with the Ursa and cogsed out here, you would have blocked off the Tusk, and then everyone would escape just fine. But now you're in a sort of terrible spot where you locked yourself into the Snapfire kisses, all the Underlord damage in the area, the Tusk is there beating on you, and you basically suicided to save the Ursa, which is good. You did save the Ursa, but you didn't have to die yourself. You could have cogs, denied one, ran out the other way, and then the rest of the ring of cogs would have protected your team. So that was poorly placed as far as where the cogs were. I wonder if Ursa still gets it. Nope, Ursa dies here. Okay. So that was a really bad team fight for you guys. I wonder if this is the start of the loss. Because so far you guys were winning. Before that you were doing just fine. You still have a farm advantage, which is good. Let's see what the net worth looks like. Dusa and Bristle at the top of the charts comfortably. That's good. Dusa has 1,200 more. Bristleback has almost 1,000 more. Ursa has nothing. That's really bad. So, excuse me. I'll talk about this when we get to the Ursa part of the game. I guess laning's over for Clockwork, but I don't know why Ursa's farm is so bad, but that's terrible. 4,300 for the Ursa, and everybody else is way up here. That's not great. All right, so let's go to the P3. We're going to watch from Bristleback's perspective. Negative about a minute. All right, Quelling Blade, Magic Stick, one set of Tangos, Ring. That's not terrible. So the Magic Stick is good. It's going to be a lot of casts. You figure it's going to be PA throwing daggers constantly, and then either of the supports. Snapfire is probably the obvious answer for the P5, but Snapfire is throwing a lot of spells too. So the Magic Stick is good. I like that purchase early. Most people would get it a little later. They'd send down like their first courier run. So he's a little low on regen and consumables in exchange for buying the Magic Stick up front. And chances are at the rune fight, you probably don't get a lot of value out of it. So I would have gone with the more traditional, an extra set of tangos, a salve, and then brought the Magic Stick out on the second courier, or the first courier.
You sass me.
Either way, this looks okay for now. The Ring Protection is good, and then Quelling Blade, pretty standard. You're trying to outlast hit somebody, probably has a little bit more than 50 damage. Alright, okay, so you saw the PA flash, you gotta start popping the quills early. You were a smidge low on there, or a smidge slow. And then all three of them are here, so you basically back out. That's good. Once you back out, you can stop spamming the quills. So you're not getting any stacks built up. Your mana pool is extremely low at this point. So when you saw the PA pop in the trees the first time, you decide, oh, there's someone here. We're going to run them down. That's perfect. Then you start spamming the quills. Once you see 3 heroes and you decide, oh, shit, we're going to back out. You run away to your own tower. That's fine. But just like the Clockwork wasted his mana popping the cogs or the battery assault right here, you wasted a little bit extra mana popping your quills here. And again, it's not a huge deal, but you have a really small mana pool. 2 sets of quills has already basically bankrupted you. 70 mana out of your 243 is not a lot. So if you had an extra 35, you could have saved it for if you decide to contest later or get back to the lane. So once you're running this far and you're basically giving up entirely on the fight, you don't need to pop one more set of quills. It's not doing anything. Okay, so you hold it now, which is good, so you can pop it a 3rd time. Clockwork is out of mana, or low on mana, and it's on cooldown, so that's bad. And yeah, you guys just have to settle for getting the back room. This is fine. Alright, Soul Ring. You do have consumables, so I like seeing the salve and the tango here. So that's huge. You're going to bring out more regen. Another mango, that's fine, just for emergency quill mana. That's perfect. Soul Ring, and then upgrade the stick to 1. You don't have to do that this early. So you're probably going to get the gold for the Soul Ring. Excuse me. Probably around the 4 to 5 minute point, I expect. And then you're going to get the Magic Wand stuff pretty soon after that, because the Magic Wand is really inexpensive. But you're probably not going to be going all the way up to, 17 or 20 charges. The 10 charges you get from Magic Stick is perfectly fine. So the stats are kind of good. You get +3 everything. But you really want to get boots early with the Bristleback to make sure you can stay on top of people that are running away from you. It's nice that Clockwork should be able to sort of micro stun them with his battery assault, slow them down, and then cogs them to really slow them down. But you still want your own boots to be able to ensure that you can run them down with quills yourself if Clockwork is not able to help you. Alright, so that's unfortunate you missed that creep block. That's not a big deal. You need to go past the wave or pull it. Okay, that's good. Make sure you get that range creep. Alright, good. And then just ignore the clock as he runs away from 3. That's perfect. So PA probably missed a lot of the XP range on those. That was an interesting quill use to secure. You missed that one. That was early. And then early right there. Okay, so you should have gotten those 2 right clicks. But the use of the quill to get the first CS was good. But you're missing 2 CS that you should have. So right now you're at what? 2. Okay, so you should be at 4-0. Find the branches to bring them out early. That's fine. Not a big deal. Okay, you got the range creep, that's good. Can't deny at the same time, that's fine. Clock is going for a pull. What you can do here. You should prep this one. You're waiting too long, and now you're at risk of losing this one. Okay, you just quilled for it anyway, that's fine. You could have gotten it without wasting a quill spray if you had just prepped it, but this works. Don't go for this, this is bad. You're just dragging the creeps off to the side. Yeah, clock shouldn't have pulled that through. So now this is... whatever. Might work out nicely because the creeps will end outside of tower range, so hold them here, that's good. Probably don't need to prep any more of these, just focus on the last hits. That's too early. You missed that one. That should have been a freebie. You need to prep this so you don't miss this other one on the side. Okay, or quill for it. You do like to use quills to secure last hits, which is okay, but you could save the mana. Okay, good priority. 9-0 each. Not terrible. I should have had that one. Okay, that one's good. Prepping that denies a little presumptuous, so I wouldn't worry about that. I'm not sure how much I like staying with the wave here. You're probably not going to get a lot of denies here. You don't have the mana to use your quills right now. Yeah, you got de-aggro that. Okay, good. Yeah, you're not denying the range creeps, so your tower dive here is not excellent. You know, clock is playing too far. That's all right. This ends up, I remember this. This turns out really well. So you basically bait the PA with the courier and then get the double kill. So this is fantastic. Yep, good quills immediately to cancel the salve. And then, you know, he's going to obviously turn there, so you turn with him and you get the kill. Easy peasy. You probably don't need to quill again, but okay, you did anyway. I think you were faster than him and you could have right-clicked him down at that point, but quill's not a big deal. Too bad you don't have clarity, because this would have been a good spot to build it back up, because now you're basically not going to be able to do the same thing for the next fight. You've used all your quill mana for now. Yeah, like right there, like that was a pointless quill. So you had basically no mana. You had whatever it was, 50 or something. You basically wounded all of these creeps a little bit for nothing, because you got another wave coming up. So the waves are going to be, you know, evenly fighting here. There's an extra range creep on the side, not a big deal, but you really don't need to waste that 35 mana. That one looked like an auto quill, so I don't think you cast that manually. Okay, that's fine. Deny that. Okay, you missed the deny, but you got the last hit. That's good. That's risky, but okay. You didn't get it. That's early. You missed that deny for free. That was a manual quill. You shouldn't have done that. Deny that. You need to deny that creep. That was an easy one. Big range creep. He was probably still within range. Okay. Good last hit. Good last hit. Double clarities I'm not loving. Alright, whatever. Deny that. Okay. Oh, that quill for the CS was okay. Right click, yeah, you need to dive him now. Okay, he used his blink, so now you gotta chase. Once he's committed his blink like that, now's the time you chase. Obviously, fortunately, Clockwork is sort of left you hanging here, so you're 1v2. But if you weren't just 1v2, you gotta dive when PA uses his blink. Yeah, this isn't a good spot. Clockwork should leave you. You should eat another Tango. Fortunately, you just don't have a good time to use your clarity, because if you're with Ever Envision, the PA is going to get a dagger on you to break it. That's iffy. I wouldn't chase here. You don't have a kill at all. Nice thought, but you're not getting a quill kill on that one. Now is when you need to be running back to your own wave and then trying to get that mana built back up. Because you're saving the 2 clarities, but you're really unlikely to get another double kill and have like a massive amount of time to build up the clarity. This is good if you continue to chase. I don't know if I die for this one. Yeah, it's probably good he blinked away. Early. This one. Okay. Then deny. And then last hit. Okay, good. Bring it back. Don't hit him again. Use your clarity. So right now, this is one of those few times. Okay, I think you just popped it. This is one of those times where they are far enough away from lane that you might get a little bit of value. That was a free last hit, so you're missing a lot of freebies here. And unfortunately, you sort of peaked. So in that spot right there, there's no reason for you to show near the catapult. So you killed all the regular creeps, and the only thing in the wave left was a catapult, and then you still decided to walk kind of a loop around the catapult, and that gave PA the vision to pop your clarity. Once it was just a catapult, you should have then turned around and then hid right here behind this tree, and then just waited for the actual creep wave to come up. Because then the creeps would have came up, they would have met right here, but you would have got another couple seconds from your clarity. But by showing yourself to a catapult that you couldn't kill and that you really shouldn't even be hitting, you shouldn't be punching this catapult at all, because that's good for you. It slows down the lane and brings it back towards your side. You need to prep one of these or you're going to miss one. Okay, or Quill. Yeah, that works too. Keep forgetting you do that just to CS. That was early. Very early. You're not going to be able to build up enough here. That's optimistic. Yeah. Those were 2 wasted Quill sprays. Good CS. Good CS. Alright, that's working out. Yeah, run away in clarity right now. Run away in clarity. Clarity. Damn it. Thank you. Alright. Good stuff. Clockwork is going to get that connect. That's good. It's only a single, so you should actually take this. You need to not show right now. You need to not lose this clarity again. And you need to go take that Satyr while Clockwork contests the small camp. Yeah, right now you're at risk of getting daggered by a PA and losing the clarity. See, that exact same thing just happened to you 30 seconds ago. You wasted those clarities. You might as well have not bought them. You should have just bought 2 mangoes instead. Because you hang around in an area where you know the PA can ranged hit you, and you're not doing it for any reason. Like, there's no reason for you to sort of dance that circle and keep this creep up here. Just bring the creep back to the tower. It's a single creep. The tower's going to hit it a couple times, but you can still get your last hit under the tower. And even if you miss the last hit, it's more important that you get the other 20 seconds of your clarity off, because you basically wasted the 50 gold that you would have gotten from the last hit on the clarity that you gave away to the PA. Because I think the creep is actually worth less than 50 gold. So that was actually a overall loss. You either go for this camp, you hit the large Satyr where the PA doesn't have vision and Clockwork goes up to contest the small camp, or you let Clockwork take the large Satyr and you bring this one all the way down. But stop wasting the clarities for nothing. And like right now, there's no reason to hit this. Stop hitting this creep. Like, you're wasting your time hitting it. There's absolutely no reason to be putting this creep to low health, because with you killing that creep, that just means that this next wave that's coming up in the lane here is going to come up this wave, and they're going to find nothing here and then continue to push further. Whereas if you had not hit that creep and walked it back to just outside tower range, it would have slowed down your next creep push. So absolutely no reason for you to beat up and kill that creep. Alright, at this point you should be quilling because Snapfire's on the backside, or Clock's on the backside, and hopefully Clock goes in with you. Okay. Look like he is. Clock's thinking about it. You can see him in the corner of your screen, so you're probably not sure what the Clock is doing. Yep, there you go, get another full stack. And really, Clockwork should go in with you here, but alright, not a big deal. It was iffy. You don't have enough health to really be sure that you're going to nuke the PA for 3 more quills. Good salve. Nice that you finally brought that out, but don't show and get your salve canceled. So got several hundred health. That's actually interesting. He blinked up and then didn't hit you and let you complete it. That's an unnecessary prep and quill. You're wasting a lot of mana to CS creeps that you should be able to right click. There are a few that you rightly CS'd by quilling, but a lot of them you didn't need to. You could have just right. Alright, there's no reason for you to hold those creeps up. You should have backed up a little bit, because now the range creep is still within tower. So let me go back to this. Alright, so the creeps are right here. They're chasing you. You do like a little dance right here where you keep them within range. The tower is probably hitting out to about here-ish, and you want these creeps to run as far down the lane as you can. So you need to continue running that. Right here, this little wiggle-waggle dance is what's screwing you over, because you're basically holding the creeps in place, and now this range creep is out of basically out of range of you, because the tower is going to start beating up on you as you start to go for it. So you should have ran back this way, had the creeps meet out here somewhere, and then the range creep would have been here while the melee creeps were over here, and you could have gotten the range creep for free. But now you just took a bunch of free tower hits for no reason, and you kept creep equilibrium closer to their tower. Definitely need another soda. Alright. I wonder if I can pause recording. I think I can. Let me pause this, and then... Alrighty. And back. Figured out how to pause. Alright, back to the Bristleback. Nice. Killing the free courier, that's good. Good choice not to dive there. You didn't have the creeps. The tower is starting to aggro you, so this is fine. Don't walk back. That would be a very awkward kill if you got it. Okay. Nice. I didn't think that was going to be that easy. So I thought you should have pulled the creeps away, but I was wrong. So you getting the kill there was good. I wonder if the Snapfire didn't have shotgun. Alright, so Soul Ring, Phase Boots, that's fine. Going for the hood, that's excellent. The early pipe on you is going to be huge. I think your build should be pipe into halberd. Like, it's not typical, but it's probably the build for this game. In fact, you screwed. That's really lucky that you ended up on the far side of those ice shards. Otherwise, you would have just died with your clockwork there. You're still in a bad spot, so yeah. Probably tanky enough to be okay, but you need to give that Ring of Health some time to build up. Because the Ring of Health needs, it's a lot of health regen, but needs some time. Nice. So you're having a great game. Alrighty. You're going Lotus Orb afterwards, so I'm not sure what the point of that is. The Lotus Orb will reflect a dagger. It'll make people, blink to the PA. Reflects a lightning bolt. It makes people snowball into Tusk. Is that a thing? I don't know. Either way, the Lotus Orb, to basically purge stuns, is not excellent here. I don't think I see as much value. The build up is kind of nice for you because you do kind of want items like these. Those are perfect items for you, but really you should be going for the halberd after. Actually, you should be going for the full pipe, and then a halberd. So this doesn't feel excellent. It's definitely not a Crimson Guard game, so I'm glad you're not going Vanguard. But the Lotus Orb doesn't seem like it's going to be a lot of value. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe in the game it'll turn out to be great, but I don't expect you to get a lot of value out of it. Alrighty. So I think laning is kind of over for you at this point. You definitely won the lane pretty handily. You're way ahead of the PA. You could have sort of restricted the PA's farm and levels even more than you did, but that was more of clockwork than you. But you gotta coordinate that between the two of you. So if you feel strong and you have this big advantage over the PA, you gotta try and get the clockwork to sort of dive in, pull the creeps off that are coming in to reinforce, and then get them into the small camp so that you can dive the tower more. Because every time you're diving these towers with a 2-level advantage, you're having a great time and you're screwing over the PA really badly. But unfortunately, I don't think you guys stopped the PA early enough to really use your advantage, because you should have had an early game advantage. Alright, let's go back and watch position 2 Medusa. Alright, Medusa has 2 shared tangos. Stat items, looks like it's going double Wraithband. Don't love that. Fairy Fire, that's fine. Observe Reward, still not planted. Don't like that. Oh, excuse me.
Sass me.
I wonder why he's holding his Observer Ward so long. Because the thing is, if you plant the Observer Ward early, you watch the enemy mid run out and plant his Observer Ward. Ooh, I don't like that at all. So you plant it there to see the rune and to watch for ganks. I guess because he's expecting Tusk to come up and gank him at like level 4 or something. I don't really see the value of that though. I would say I disagree with your choice of observer spots. That's all. I would have preferred it to be on the river where you can see uphill and you can get your Mystic Snake on the enemy mid, because remember, the biggest part of playing Medusa mid is hitting your Mystic Snake on the enemy hero. Like, that is the entire gameplay for mid Medusa, and if you don't do that, you lose the lane, or you're playing it wrong. You're not getting the full value of mid Medusa. Excellent block. This is fantastic. That was a super, super fucking good block. That was fantastic. Alright. Yeah, that was a tough one. You probably couldn't get both. So this is a mistake right here. You had one of these tangos in your backpack, and this was an observer ward. You planted the observer ward, and then you left your fairy fire in your backpack instead of the tango. You've got two shared tangos. They share a cooldown, so if you eat one, you can't quickly eat another one. There's like a long minute where this one's on cooldown, so you have absolutely no value from a second tango. This fairy fire and that tango need to be swapped, because you're missing 2 damage for free, and then you're missing that emergency health heal if you need it. Big, big mistake. I think you did that last game too. And I think I commented on this exact same mistake in your last replay video. Huge inefficiency. Alrighty. Good last hitting so far. You should have gotten that one. You didn't get either the last hit or the deny there, and that was a mistake. You could have had at least one, definitely, and might have had both. That was a mistake. You took too long. You did your little cancel animation S thing. You're canceling too long. So you shouldn't be, if you're at the point where you're standing there and your character's doing the little, schizophrenic shake because they can't decide whether or not to attack, then you are trying to last hit way too early. You may want to cancel your animation like up to 2 or 3 times, but if you're doing it more than that, then you're trying to attack too early and you need to do something else with your time. You need to reposition your hero. You need to throw a right click on the enemy, especially since you're a ranged hero. You probably have as good, if not better, range than the Zeus, and it's just a huge waste. That was a tough one. Don't blame me for missing that. You need to stay on the top of the stairs, okay, or pull back. That's fine too. As a deny, you should get that. Okay, you're really missing. You need to get this one first. Okay, good. That was a good one. Also a good one. You need to stay close. Stay close. You're too far away. Your projectile's going to be too far. Okay, so the further away you stand from, and you know this, the further away, the longer your projectile has to travel to get to that hit, and the harder it's going to be. You have 100% health. You're not even getting close to being harassed by the Zeus. The Zeus isn't trying to right-click you at all for some reason, and you're not trying to right-click him. The two of you are just kind of standing there doing a little, epileptic seizure as you sort of pretend like you're going to throw a right-click, and then after like the 5th pump fake, you finally throw it, but neither of you is right-clicking the enemy hero. So in a high-level, mid matchup, in between last hits, there's also harassing right-clicks that are going out to the enemy hero. So if you're not going to do that, then at least stand closer to the creep so that you get those really easy last hits and denies. Still haven't figured out that your Fairy Fire's in the wrong slot. That was a freebie. You should have had that last hit. That was a good one. That was a little inefficient, but you still got the hero hit, so it's fine, whatever. I think that was your first Mystic Snake of the game, too, so that's a little late. You're not throwing them a lot. You should have had that. 9-1 to 6-1, so you still have a reasonable lead, but it's not crazy good. And you're too late to stack this camp, so I'm not sure what's going on here. This is... Alright. This is taking too long. You're losing a lot of farm here now. This is very concerning. This is not an efficient way to add the small camp to your farming. This is a less efficient way to basically play. Yeah, that was really bad. So you traded an entire wave, maybe even more. I think you traded a wave and a half of creeps for that small camp there. So you're really early on. Ideally, the way you play that is you don't actually run to that small camp and farm it. You're supposed to run out, stack it. So you got to it at like 2 minutes or something. You need to sort of time it so that you're getting to it right before stack time. You stack the small camp, and then you go back to your lane, and you're going to farm that one later. The pro mid's like an alchemist or whatever. If they're not going to, actually run out to a double, they just run over and stack the small camp once. But you don't have time to sit there and farm that entire thing, because I think you lost a lot right there. So let's see. Zeus is 1450. You're 1350. Okay, so you're 50 gold behind. You're a level behind. You were, what, 2 CS ahead of him. Now you're 1 CS ahead of him. And yeah, I really don't think that was efficient. You've also cleared some space in your inventory here, and you still haven't moved the Fairy Fire up, but I really don't think you should leave the lane to farm that small camp there. That feels like it's really that positive. Like I'd have to go back and check the math on what. Actually, let's do it. Let's check the math. Let's see what Zeus's net worth was previously. So, okay, so Zeus is 14 and a half. You're 14, and then before you guys do the farming, is this when you leave the lane? Yeah, this is when you leave the lane. So you had a 115 gold advantage on Zeus, and when you came back from the small camp, you had a 100 gold disadvantage. So you lost roughly 200. It's not exact, but ballpark, you gave away 200 gold in net worth, and you had an advantage over Zeus, and you threw it away by going for this coup camp here. So yeah, 13 to 12 something. He's farming. Where the hell is he? Yeah, so he got that half wave, and then he gets this whole wave on you, and I think, yeah, you're still farming a small camp while he's getting these, so he should deny all this. You're basically losing a full wave of XP, maybe even a wave and a half, and then all that farm. And yeah, he overtakes you in net worth. So I'm going to say that was a huge mistake. The numbers say so. You really got to move that Fairy Fire. Like, why even buy a Fairy Fire in the beginning if you're not going to use it? Like, the whole point of having it isn't for 2 damage. Like, you can get branches or something for that, or slippers. That was okay. You cast that backwards, but you did get the hit on Zeus, so I don't mind you casting it straight on the range creep first. You should get more of those. Yeah, that was not excellent. Okay, now you notice the Fairy Fire when you wish you had the life. But you should really be using your shield here. So before that entire exchange, you should have put your shield up. You threw the snake out. When you threw the snake, you threw it at the range creep, so it bounced range creep, Zeus, and then back to melees. The way that you want to cast it is you want to kill a range, or you want to kill a melee. Whatever the number is for the number of jumps. You got 4 jumps, so you need to kill 1 melee creep on the line. When that first melee creep dies, then you snake the melee creep, and it's 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, 4 bounce to the Zeus, and it ends on the Zeus because with the Mystic Snake jumps, it increases every time. It doesn't get worse. So you want the final and last bounce to be on Zeus. So when you have 3 jumps and it's level 1, you have to kill 2 melee creeps. When it's level 2 and you have 4 jumps, kill 1 melee creep. When you get to level 3, you don't kill anybody and you just throw the nuke. And then make sure you throw it on the melee creep when he's close enough that it bounces through. And I understand that sometimes, if the enemy mid laner sees the snake start to bounce, he'll run away from his range creep. But with Zeus's short attack range, he has to be so close that he's probably not going to get away every time. And then if that is the case, then that's fine. You just throw the Mystic Snake straight at the range creep. But if you have your shield up the whole time, you're getting all your mana back, and you shouldn't be missing this much life. You have basically 100% health or 100% mana and like nothing of life. Like you're missing 500. This is huge. Zeus absolutely destroyed you in the last, whatever exchange and trade this was on that last wave. Yeah, Zeus had to burn all of his mana, but he still has all of his life, and you unfortunately have all your mana and nowhere near enough life. So it's just a poor use of your resources. You could have put your shield up for that last exchange, and then it still would have taken some of your life, but it takes some of your mana. It's not a full mana absorption, so it's not like all of your health would have been preserved. You would have lost 30% health and 70% mana, which is fantastic, because then your health would be somewhere out here and your mana would be somewhere here, and it would be much more balanced. But that's enough of that. Instead, you're bringing out a salve, and we're going to eat that last tango. But see, now you have to hide. Now Zeus has a bottle, and he's going to continue to hit these things. You need to kill that creep right there, and now the snake. Yep, that was good. If you got that, okay. So that was the right time. Unfortunately, it bounced poorly for you, but you did throw the snake at the right time. And at the right, I think you threw it at the right target. I'm not sure. Yeah, you might as well just eat the salve anyway. You don't have time to wait. Okay. Deny that. That was an easy deny. You should have had that. That was a wasted snake there. Like, I get it, you're building up some more mana, but yeah, that was wasted. You had a lot of mana anyway. You basically just put the range creep low enough that Zeus could have denied it. So you were lucky that Zeus walked away and was way over here, and he couldn't deny your range creep on you because he was going for his bottle. But of course now he's got an Invis rune in his bottle instead. So also not excellent. A little early on split shot, so you don't have any stacks of your own. I'm not sure what the build is, but I would have gone with a little bit more of that shield. But of course you're not even using the damn shield, so what am I talking about? Really wish you'd use your shield, but I guess this is working out okay for you now. Yeah, so at that point it does enough damage that it insta-kills the range creep, but the previous one's risky. Not sure what Zeus is doing here. He's not even stealing your, he's not stealing your whatchamacallit, so it's odd. I guess the increase in mana shield's pretty low, so I guess one value point in shield is fine. 10% damage or 0.3 mana shield. So that'd be what, your mana is 600, 0.3 be 600, 200 health, so you could take an extra 200 damage if you had a second level there. I don't know. Yeah, your farm is suffering a little bit though. Deny that. You gotta deny that. Okay. So you let him get that one for free. Zeus is starting to outperform you in this matchup. Oh, he's going to deny that on you. Okay, good. You didn't have to do it, but that's good. That was actually surprisingly good that it bounced off the Catamounts clarity. So. You really gotta have that shield up for these types of things. I don't know why you're leaving your mana. Your mana doesn't, like, your snake doesn't cost so much mana that you need a full bar. Your snake only takes less than a third, excuse me, probably less than a fourth of your mana right now, and it's you only have one spell that takes mana, so you really should have your snake up for those, or your shield up for those exchanges. It's unfortunate he's contesting you. He's probably got a sentry there. You might as well just buy the sentry yourself to de-ward. You don't have to... Oh, he doesn't see it. How did he see that then? I'm not even sure how he stole that on you. You need to walk uphill and get that mango tree. Is that how the mango tree gets lost? Okay, so you farmed it. You saw the mango tree drop, and now no one's getting it. So the next time someone goes roaming, they're gonna steal it on you. Yeah, it's a shame. Alright, this seems to be going okay for you. I'm going to say your laning phase is over here at this point. We'll just go ahead and jump to the carry. You really should go pick up that mango tree, though. That concerns me, because I remember checking later, and it says unknown for the mango tree, and I'm wondering if that was actually the one that got planted up here in a weird offensive spot. Because I saw the mango tree here, and I thought it was the enemy's. Now I'm starting to wonder if it was yours. That's interesting. I'll watch that later. I forgot what happened. Alright, let's go to the Ursa. Alright, rewind a little bit. Too far. Alrighty, so Ursa comes out to lane. That's right, he's got heavy regen too, which is good. Quelling Blade. 2 fucking Iron Branches. What is up with everybody doing that? Alright, whatever.
Sass me.
2 sets of tangos, salve, and the mango. No early stat items, that's okay. I like that. Going for phase boot straight into Battle Fury. Battle Fury. I don't love that. So Battle Fury slows down your other big items here. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, you just cancel it and move back to Magic Wand. I like that a lot. Hopefully you don't finish buying that Battle Fury because you need you need earlier stuff than that. So Medusa is going to just naturally become your super late game ultra carry, and the Ursa here needs to be sort of the more active PA hunter. I don't imagine that you're going to have time to get the full value of a farming Battle Fury. It would be nice if you could just disappear the jungle and not have to help out, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Phase Boots is good though. Unfortunately, he doesn't poison there, yeah, so you don't get to do much here. That's good, yep, one more hit, and then just walk away. That was perfect. So one thing to do here, and it's on both sides of the lanes, so it's more obvious on Dire, but in the safe lane, if your carry has a Quelling Blade, you want to kill some of these trees here so that your support can basically have escape paths. So on this lane, you want to kill this tree, you want to kill, I think it's this tree, and you want to kill this tree. It looks like this one's actually already missing, but basically this gives your support 3 paths to basically duck in and out of the lane and this harassing area. They harass over here, they get into a skirmish, and then they duck back into the safety of the tower, and then they're okay. On the Radiant side, it's not quite as obvious, but there are a few spots where you want to do the same thing. So the Dazzle doesn't want to have to use all of his tangos to basically cut his way through this area. You don't have heroes that particularly need to use the trees to flank around, and with the Tusk, you actually don't want to get caught in a weird spot. Oh, excuse me. Because the Tusk is just going to like ice shard you, and he's going to ice shard you in like a weird U pattern where you basically get harassed from this side. The Tusk throws his ice shards here, and now you're stuck in this area, and then Underlord throws his stuff on you, and it's not good. So rather than make the Dazzle spend his tangos to cut his way through here, it looks like someone already ate this tree. So I'm guessing that's the Dazzle eating the first one of his healing tangos. No, I'm actually not sure. Maybe you cut that, or is that a replay bug? I don't know. That tree looks dead to me, and that's good. But basically, you want to kill that one, and then you want to kill one of these up here, because basically this L is already cut, or it's already open. Like there's a path where you go here, and then you cut down here, and then you go out this way, or you go out this way, and there's like a little T intersection in here. That's okay, but it's very problematic for the support to try and run through, because it's harder to see. It's sort of a bottleneck where like Underlord can throw his pit, or again Tusk can throw that shards, and this area just gets the support killed. So you really want to open up another one, and usually it's like this tree or this tree here, and that way it's just a straight shot. Basically the Dazzle can play on both sides of this little clump here and then hide as he needs to help you out. So with the Quelling Blade carries, try and always, unless there's something else that's already been planned, try and cut some early escape routes for your support. Alright, enough of that. Fury Swipes is good. I like it. Hopefully you... yeah, that's right. I think you do get the Earth Shock afterwards. That's not a great block, but it's okay because they're blocking as well, and this gives you perfect equilibrium. Okay, so right here, and I talked about this earlier on the Dazzle replay, they already know that there's 3 up here. They called that out. The Clockwork, ran into them as they were going for the rune fight, and then they backed away, and now Clockwork sees him again as he's basically running for his life a second time. This is the time where you want to go with the Dazzle on the Underlord, and you have to tell him if the Dazzle doesn't communicate to you, you got to communicate it back to him. One of you guys has to take the initiative and say, hey, we're 2v1, we need to basically pressure this guy while we have the chance. So forget these creeps right here. These don't exist right now. Just mentally sort of erase those from your mind. This is a non-exist. There's just this empty playing field, and on this empty playing field there's an enemy hero, and then there's two friendly heroes, and the 2 of you friendly heroes need to go knock the shit out of that enemy one while he's basically outnumbered. And then once the Tusk comes back, or once he gets bullied out of lane and he's missing half of his health, then come back and finish and worry about the last hits here. But you don't need the 1 or 2 CS that you might miss in exchange for 50% of Underlord's health. 50% of his health is absolutely worth it here. So you ran really far. I don't know why you did that, but you like ran a huge loop and you almost went all the way back to the tower here before coming back. No reason to do that. I guess you were trying to pull the creeps off, but that was just a really weird walk. Yeah, looks like you're trying to get him close to deny the range creep. See, the problem with this is because you're so close to the tower, you're pulling the creeps off, they're going for your range creep, and then they're dying to the tower blasts. So you're actually screwing yourself over because now the lane is going to push out and you're going to be, oh, excuse me, up here somewhere. You had absolutely perfect lane equilibrium. So, you know, your lane, like the tower hitting range is probably something like this. And so your lane equilibrium is absolutely perfect because the creeps are going to end somewhere right here, and you're going to have your 4 creeps on this side, and then their 4 creeps are going to be on this side, and then they're just going to fight right in this area, and you can just last it as you want. Once you start to aggro back onto the range creep here, and you pull these guys through, they now cross the tower hit range, and you've just screwed the equilibrium because you're basically going to shove the next wave up. So while you may get a 1 wave advantage on the range creep, the second and third waves are going to be screwed over for it, so try not to do that. You finally start thinking about going for the Underlord. He doesn't poison, you don't go. That's bad. Alright, so it's good CS. That one looked a little late, but it worked out. Yeah, hit the Underlord. Forget the creeps. Okay. Really not... Okay, so you're doing a good job of trying to pull the creeps back to the range to deny it, so that's good. Okay, that was hard to get both of those. You got to go for this range. Okay, so when he drops the poison right here, walk around the poison and get this range creep. Yeah, so you took too long. You had the right idea. You eventually tried to get the range creep, but you got scared, ran away from the poison, and then kind of hung out in the area behind the poison. Whereas as soon as he throws that firestorm, you got to swing around and go straight for that range creep because it was already like half health by the time he was casting that. Alright, so that was a weird semi-pull that didn't happen. Now you need to pull this one right now. What's going on? So this is weird. Your creeps are now in a terrible position because of the the reasons we talked about just a second ago ad nauseum. This wave is right here. These creeps are here. You just saw that this camp is occupied, so nobody blocked it with a ward. There was like wild wings or something in here. You should not be running back up here to try and soak this. Like it's nice for you to get this XP, but unfortunately your Dazzle's running off to do something. I don't know what he's about to do, but he's probably going to go like D-ward or set up to pull this next camp in like the next I don't know. It's going to take fucking an hour for the next creep wave to come up, but he's doing something else, and you can't give up on the pull just because your support doesn't do it. And this is kind of one of those, if your support doesn't do what the lane is supposed to do, you have to take it upon yourself to sort of do it, even if it costs you a little bit. Because overall, the lane benefits more from the side pull than it does from the Dazzle walking off and AFK killing a ward here, and you sort of like hiding in the trees while you soak XP from the one melee creep that's going to die here. So you need to run up, smack this wildkin right here, and then run out right here, and then probably stand on like this yellow patch of flowers and try and pull that hard camp out. And it's not really a core thing to do, so I don't know if you're a support at all or if you know how to do that, but this is a huge screw up right here if this doesn't connect, because then this creep wave is going to keep running right up, and these creeps are pretty even. So with this equilibrium being way up here, this creep wave is going to do the same thing, and the next wave is going to be just as ruined as this one is. You're already scared, you're already playing way behind, and you're going to let the next creep wave go right back up and do the same thing. So at 87 seconds into the game, you're already losing the lane, which is not excellent. So you did get really good last hits, and you're ahead of the Underlord by 2, but when this wave finishes, and when this second wave shoves up there and finishes, I would bet that you're probably going to fall behind in CS. We'll see. Okay, so now you're tied. Now you're 6 and 6. Okay, now he's got 7. Now he's winning. And now he's got 8. Okay, you should get this one. Oh, that was early. That was way early. You should have known. Okay, so Underlord now has 9, and you have the same 6 you had like 20, 30 seconds ago. So you basically just wasted all of the time of that wave doing nothing, and you're no better off than you were a previous wave. And considering there have only been 2 waves in this entire game so far, or was it 3 waves? You're a huge disadvantage. And so you don't want to, let individual waves go by because, it seems like a small issue and it seems like, oh, okay, I just missed a couple of creeps, but, that's a big advantage because Underlord's going to get his levels before you do. The Tusk is going to, basically free roam and do whatever it is he wants to do. And the Tusk is probably going to out harass and out, trade your Dazzle. So you're basically giving up your lane and giving them a chance to basically win the laning stage from you completely. So this is not excellent. Now you're just kind of walking around, like you don't really know what you should do. You're kind of hanging out. The Dazzle did pull, so this wave will correct on the next one. But of course, that's the next wave. You should have right-clicked the Underlord right there. There's no reason for you to walk up to that creep, pump fake it, and then walk away. And you went for a tusk that was already gone, so now you missed 2 denies right there. Looks like you got 1 and missed 2. You're going to be within XP range for this, so that's good. And you missed that one too. Are you still at 6? Oh no, you're at 7. Okay, so you got 1 last hit in the last minute. Alright, this is good. Good. Get out of the firestorm pit and then keep chasing. You're okay, it's too late now. You got 2v1. Good last hit. If your Dazzle was there to poison, you probably could have chased. This is good. Let that connect. Let that connect. Okay, so you killed it a little. I mean, I guess you wanted the last hit, but then you pushed another creep out. You could have had that one. You could have denied that. You still have 3 tangos and a salve, so don't be scared. You have a lot of your regen left, and you should be ferrying out more after this. Like it looks like you're just going straight for boots, and you've just sort of like eliminated regen from your mind. Like, I'm not buying any more regen. I'm now going into items, but you shouldn't think like that. You should be trading. You should be using up these tangos. You should be getting to a point where you're swapping your health, because right-clicking wise, you should out-damage the Underlord easily. You get 3 or 4 stacks, he's bullied out a lane. If it takes all of his health and all of your health, that's great, because all of his health means he runs away. Does he have a salve? He does have a salve, and then you do too. So, if he didn't have a salve, though, you could have bullied him out. He loses all of his health, runs. You lose all your health. You run. You salve up, and you come right back to the wave, and he's doing who knows what. But you really have to try and force these trades when you have that regen, and not be scared to buy more regen and send it out. But it is good that you're going for phase boots. But I wouldn't get more than just the boot component without buying more regen and trading, because I do remember that you lose these trades pretty badly here. I think you use like your salve and Dazzle's salve, and then you still play pretty low health. Okay, so that was interesting. You ran up to the wave like you were going to deny, and then you had a chance to right-click and deny, you didn't, and then you walked away, but now you're getting harassed. So all of that walking up and walking back, all the damage that you just took and are about to take was completely wasted because, again, you didn't follow through with the action and finish the right-click on the creep. So if you're going to run up and tank some damage for a deny or a last hit, you need to actually do it. Because if you just walk up and then take the damage for free, then you're okay. That's really lucky for you that he botched his shards. It was just a bad tusk. Because otherwise you would have lost a lot more life. Okay, good. Alright, these are all freebies. You shouldn't miss any of them. Okay, good. And deny that. Alright. That was perfect on that wave. You're now 16, he's now 20. So you're 16 to 20 isn't terrible, but you had an early advantage on the Underlord, and this lane shouldn't be that bad for you. He doesn't have a lot of levels yet, so I imagine in the later levels is when Underlord starts to get away from you with a lot of Firestorm. He just nukes the wave. But okay, so you just missed the last hit there to go for the Observer Ward, which is a shame because the ward wasn't going anywhere. You weren't being pressured, so you should have gotten the last hit first and then turned for the ward kill. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm talking about right there too. So in that last 10 seconds or whatever, your creep wave is coming up here, and again, this is a perfect opportunity for you to pull. So your wave is way the fuck up here under the tower. Underlord and Tusk are both showing in their tier 1 tower. Underlord is trying to last hit this shit over here, so he is way far away from you. Like, you have this much space to do whatever you want. This wave needs to be pulled over, and then there should be another one that comes with it. Okay, see, so that's a mistake right here, because you're basically going to go up. This is, what the fuck is that? It's a little satyr thing. why I thought that was an enemy creep. But either way, this camp right here should be accessible to you. So one of these trees should be in it. It's almost always this tree right here. So let me go to my little drawing thing right here. You want to kill either this tree or you want to kill this tree, because that lets you pull this wave way out here and then intercept on this little yellow patch right here, and that's your pull spot. You have now missed this wave twice, and it's really hurting you, because this creep wave is going to run away from you, and they're going to go all the way up here. And again, the wave is up here, which means if this wave equilibrium is held anywhere in this area, then the next uncontested wave is going to run right up here, and it's still going to fucking end somewhere way out here, and you're going to have a bad spot. And you don't want to run out here and try and basically 1v2 the Tusk and the Underlord for CS while your Dazzle is doing who the fuck knows what. You want your equilibrium to be way back here, where you're the one that's underneath the tower with the extra regen and the armor and whatever. And by pulling the neutral camp, you're not only denying all the fucking farm that they're going to get from these creeps here, the gold and the experience, assuming that they stay out of range, but you're going to get the gold and the experience from killing, you know, these hard camps, which is worth a lot more. So you're really missing out on a huge piece of it. You should either use a Tango or use a Quelling Blade, kill these trees, and then keep these killed. Like, in the entire laning phase, while you're in this, you know, sort of radiant safe lane, one of these two trees should always be killed, especially since you have a Quelling Blade. Just whenever you see it and you're, you know, not doing something, you're just kind of walking around this area, kill these trees and keep those killed for the entire first 10 minutes of the game, because when the enemy team is going to pull, they're not going to pull through these trees, or they shouldn't be usually. They're going to pull across this top yellow tree, and they're going to pull up here, and then they're going to try and get the creep wave to meet right here on this flag. You want to pull over in this direction on the flower patch, so it's two totally different directions, and they're not going to use the same trees. So either kill this, you know, probably this easternmost one or the southeastern one, and then, you know, get used to pulling those out yourself, especially when, you know, support isn't doing it for you in like a pub game, or, you know, in an uncoordinated league game like this, where you don't really have the you know, the presence of mind to kind of figure out, oh, I need to fix this creep equilibrium, because this is huge. Like, the entire safe lane game is based around this creep equilibrium, and the fact that you've got it pushed so far out here is just ridiculously backwards. Like, Underlord is a hero that's known for pushing his creeps into you. So Underlord should be using his Firestorm to get these creeps, and Underlord is known for shoving the wave into the enemy safe lane tower here, and then is comfortable diving the tower while you're trying to last hit over here. But you've got it backwards. Like, Underlord is having a ridiculously easy game because he doesn't have to shove his creep waves in, because you're doing it for him. And you're basically giving him waves upon waves of XP, whereas he's back here denying your XP, and you're getting no levels. All right, so I've probably discussed that ad nauseum, but that's like huge. Like, this is a massive reason, I think, why you are the lowest farmed core in the game in the next 10 minutes or so. Because I remember checking your net worth on someone else's replay video, and yeah, you're the lowest farmed core in the game, and that should not be the case. You should not be fucking 6th place right now. The only people you're beating are the 4 fucking supports, and that's terrible. You should have way more farm than this. You should be, I mean, really, it should be the 2 mids at the top, and then it should be the 2 carries. The fact that the 2 offlaners are the next, you know, ones just shows how bad the 2 carries are doing. You know, in the PA, you know, we saw that earlier. The PA got shit on by the Bristleback, but you are getting shit on worse by the Underlord, I think. All right. All right, so that was a mistake right there. So you had your Earth Shock, which is good. You Earth Shocked early, which I don't understand why, because the snowball was going to hit you anyway, and then once you've wasted the Earth Shock, you can't jump over the ice shards. So what you should be doing here is, this guy hits you, whatever, he's going to go for a snowball in a second, and you start to run. Let's get to that part. All right, so as he's running at you, he's going to stun you with the snowball. You're so close to the snowball that you can't, like, blink dagger out and get far away enough that the snowball doesn't hit you, because, you know, the snowball has a certain leash, and after a while it just fizzles out. It doesn't, like, chase you across the map, but you're really fucking close. Like, this snowball is right behind you, so there's no way that you're going to get so far. So you should not use your Earth Shock until after he throws the shards, and then you can jump over it. So right here, you're getting chased. Let the snowball hit you, because it's going to anyway. You basically delay the stun for a second, and then now he throws the shards. That's when you should Earth Shock, because then you could have jumped over this. And now you're just standing here silly, you know, basically getting beat on for no reason. And that was a complete waste. And now you basically like walked out after the shards expired. So that was a huge loss of life for no reason. Maybe you thought you could get him like within tower range if you earth shocked, but still, I mean, he would have backed off as soon as the first tower shot came at him, and you would have, still lost a lot of life. Whereas you could have saved probably 3 right clicks worth of damage if you'd waited. All right, so now Underlord is comfortably ahead of you and outlasting you pretty well. All right, that wiggle waggle is bullshit, but he's not losing any efficiency. He's not ranged, and you're not close by, so it's not as big of a deal. This is good. Good harass. I remember seeing this. Yep. Forget the creeps. Go for him. Unfortunately, it's a little on the late side, as we discussed on the Dazzle video, but you do end up getting the kill. That was a wasted Earth Shock. That was a complete waste. So he already saved him in the snowball. Jumping past and then walking around was a complete waste of time. Now you don't have Earth Shock, whereas you could have jumped up, shocked him, and killed him right here. You still got the kill by going in for a right click, but now you're just taking extra damage for no reason. So you used Earth Shock in a weird way twice now. I think those are the only like 2 times you've even cast it, so they've both been inefficient, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Okay, you should have had that. You should have had that one. Don't be scared. So this is what I'm talking about when you're in a position where you have nothing to do in the wave. So a lot of times you're in the wave, you're both waiting for a last hit, but it's too early. When there's no last hit to be taken and you have plenty of time, like a full second or 2 seconds, smack the enemy hero. Don't run up at the hero and like dance around behind the wave and do nothing. Run up, smack him, and then turn around and smack the creep in time to get the last hit. But there's no reason for you to just sort of like walk up and kind of like pump fake and animation cancel your attack and do whatever and then waste that time. You should be smacking him because you get 3 hits in between last hitting 3 creeps, and the Tusk doesn't feel comfortable staying in this lane. But if you completely ignore the Tusk and you just wait for the perfect time to last hit the enemy creep that you're waiting on, you're basically letting the Tusk sit there and punch you for no reason. All right, so now it looks like you're thinking about it. You chase him out. You don't do it. Okay, you gotta prep one, or you're gonna miss it. Okay, looks like you're gonna miss it. Okay, you still got it. Never mind. You have more attack speed than I thought you did. Okay, might want to prep a deny. Okay, that was early, so you prepped it and then missed it, which is weird. And then you didn't get that one. You need to turn around and get that one immediately. Okay, good. You're only 6 behind the Underlord now, so it's not as bad. You've started to do a little bit better, but still early. That you should have known. That was 1 range creep attack too early. You gotta get that deny. That was a big deny that you missed. That was an easy one. And you're hanging onto the salve at half life, which is kind of odd. Dazzle's been really bad at giving you heals, so you haven't gotten like a lot of shadow wave heals, but you should be trading to get rid of that salve and bring some This is good. That works out. Okay. Yep. Rug with him. All right. You got a stick charge and engraves you perfectly. That's fantastic. All right. So now that's a good use of your salve. I just don't want to see you go like the entire laning phase and then have a salve sitting in your inventory like 10 or 15 minutes. Like, that means you wasted it. If you didn't get to use a salve in the laning phase at some point, you screwed up. That's good. Run past, get out of the firestorm, and then keep hitting them. That was a good use of running to the side with your phase boots, so you microed that well. You could have gotten that deny. You could have ran with it. I guess you were low health and you were a little scared, but that's fine. Tell your Dazzle to heal you. Oh, looks like you're thinking about a pull. Okay, so that's really weird. That's weird. So you ran up to the camp, you cut the tree that I was talking about earlier, you thought about it, and then you left the pull. And I understand that you're probably okay with the creep equilibrium here, but there's no reason to be. So with the creep equilibrium being here, you're still giving Underlord Tusk their experience. If you had pulled that creep wave down, gotten them to pull your creeps off, these creeps come around, they probably still see the tail end of your wave going in, like tucking into the forest, and they probably kill your range creep off real quick and then run straight into the tower. Then you go back with them to your tower, you get all those creeps uncontested, which is great since you're now at way less than half health, and then some of their creeps are going to get denied in this camp. It doesn't even matter if all of them do, because Dazzle's going to be sitting here. Dazzle's going to soak up the XP from the small camp or from the hard camp creeps. He's going to try and deny your friendly creeps and basically stand somewhere around this weird fountain pedestal thing while you free hit this wave. But now that you decided explicitly, and I saw you run up to it, think about it, and then leave, you've now forced yourself to play out here again, and now you're in a dangerous area where Tusk could come this way, Underlord could come at you, you've got no health, and you basically have to continue doing this very passive, I'm going to watch my creeps get really, really low and then jump in and take the last hit. But that leaves you in a very vulnerable position. It's much better for you to take this whole wave and just last hit it under tower, especially while you're this low. So you're just going to nuke down the range creep. I don't mind that since you're probably worried you're going to get ganked now, but you just missed the last hit and a deny for no reason. So the range creep, so this is a minor thing here. You went for the range creep, I don't mind that. You hit it 3 times, and that's what made you miss the middle melee creep. So the way you play this, you run up, and then what you're doing is you're hitting this creep on the right, but your range creep is then hitting the melee creep on the left. So you're playing this all kinds of inefficiently. So let's just rewind here and I'll go over this. Okay, so a little too far. Okay, you thought about it, you didn't pull, you let the creeps meet anyway. Alright, so these creeps are meeting right here. This creep is going to die first because he's the front melee creep that ran into the wave. So you go back to this guy, you decide, I'm just going to nuke these because I don't know where the enemy's at and I don't want to die. That's fine. You hit this 1 time, you hit it 2 times, that's fine. You need to leave this creep now just for a second and turn around and smack this middle creep right here because you're about to miss this one. This creep is taking all the damage from all 4 of your creeps, the 3 melees and the range behind. This guy's one hit away, and I get that maybe you think Tusk is going to run all the way out of the shadows and kill it, but you're still closer to it. So all you have to do is run from here right to here, smack that creep in the ass, and then turn around and smack him in the face again. And excuse me. If Tusk, for some reason, comes out of the shadows and starts running to this creep, you're still way closer. You're still going to have time to cancel your attack on this guy, turn around and kill this before Tusk can run all the way up to it. So there's no danger of this creep getting killed unless maybe ice shards come out from this tree in the smoke and there's a super short range ice shard, which would be highly unlikely and pretty impressive if he did that, to try and block you out. But basically, the only way you miss this is if he shards rings this creep and then runs up while you're basically forced out. And then I guess even then you could Earth Shock to still get it. But either way, ignore this creep, hit it twice, leave it where it is, hit this creep right here, go back for the range creep, and then focus on the left creep first. Because as you go, you end up killing this creep. You miss this one, right? So you miss this one right here. Okay, whatever. You should go for this deny, that's fine. And then you need to hit the same creep that your range creep is going for, because this one's gonna die faster than the right side guy because there's 2 creeps hitting him. But if you hit this one as well, then these start getting to the point where they're gonna both die at the same-ish time. And so now you're gonna get to where it's harder for you to kill them all because you might miss one. See, now you're kind of thinking about it, you're dancing around, you looked at it, you prepped this guy twice, but now look at this. Both these creeps are really similar health. Why can't I select the creep? 150, 190. You're doing, was that 60, 70, 77 damage? You got 2 stacks of fury on this guy, so that's a whole bunch more. I don't know how much extra 54 damage. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to hit these 2 creeps, and you didn't need to do that. You could have just focused on hitting this creep all by itself. This creep would have still had 300 health. You didn't need to worry about it. Okay, so now that was probably a good use of your Earth Shock because you fucked up and started hitting the wrong creep, but you didn't need to do that. You could have easily killed both of those creeps with just right clicks and then saved your mana and saved the cooldown Earth Shock. So it's good that you realized what your mistake was and corrected it with the Earth Shock, but now you're about to get ganked and you don't have the Earth Shock for if Tusk snowballs you right here, you can't Earth Shock over the next set of shards, and you basically wasted 85 mana for nothing. So minor efficiency things. Alright, so you guys are playing way back. I don't know if it's because there's a Zeus here. He's invis. You can't know he's here. Is there a sentry there as well? Okay, your sentry's up here, but there's no observer to share the vision. So I don't think there's any way you know the Zeus is here. You're pinging him, or you're pinging something. I wonder if you're pinging just the Tusk, or if you know. That's weird. I was on voice comm, so I don't know if you actually realize that. This is a bad spot here. You shouldn't be diving in. So you realized it, and you turned around and then, like, jumped back out, but that was a terrible spot for you to go in. The Dazzle's already used his shallow grave, and so that's all that needs to happen. You basically lost however much health that was for nothing by jumping in and jumping back out. And you are going for Battle Fury, so I don't like that at all. You didn't bring out any more consumables, so you don't have any life still. There's no early mask on the way, so you should have a salve in your inventory. At the very least, all you need is one more salve, because your Dazzle really hasn't been healing you a lot, and is going to leave you out of the lane for a while. So I think your laning phase is about over. You end at 30 last hits, and Underlord has 48. Wow, that's a huge disadvantage. 30 to 48. Okay, so that probably explains why you're having a bad start and you don't have a lot of net worth. Your net worth actually goes up nicely, probably because of the 2 kills. I think you kill Underlord twice, so you've actually temporarily overtaken him, but I think you fall behind again later because I checked it like 15 minutes and you were still 6th place. So that's okay that you started to catch up a little bit, but you really missed a lot of CS that you shouldn't have. Your 30 should be closer to his 48. He shouldn't have gotten as many freebies. He should, there were a lot of creeps where you walked up to him and decided not to right-click them for whatever reason. There were a few that you kind of missed the timing on just a little bit by a split second. And then there were a few creep waves where you should have denied entirely with side pulling of your own. That's okay. Now we will transition into the group review where we'll watch the rest of the match. God damn, this is a long fucking video. We'll watch the rest of the match as a team, and let's just check items real quick here. Alright, so you have Phase Boots, Soul Ring. Oh no, that's Perspective. Phase Boots, Soul Ring. Dazzle has Boots Wand. A lot of sticks and wands on the team. I like that. Deuce has Double Wraith Band. Don't like that. Clockwork's still trying to get Tranks. You have Phase Boots, Wand as well. So you're just underfarmed compared to the Bristle, same items. Alright. Let's go ahead and watch a little bit of the team fights, see what happens here. Go to direct view camera so I can see what's going on. Looks like Clockwork just died. Not sure how. Basically, I'm looking for big team fights and what your items are going to be as everyone's building. Alright, so you guys killed a Tusk somewhere, that's good. I remember seeing the Dazzle do this, and then Medusa cleans it up, which is damn lucky. That must be your damn tree. No, see, that's not your all's tree, because I see a tree behind mid lane here. So that's your guys' mango tree, which means one of you, since you keep seeing this damn thing, needs to come up here and eat this tree. Excuse me, because if you leave that, that's a free observer ward, and like, probably 10 mangoes for the next 10 minutes or whatever it is for, a lot of free mana health regen. So there's no reason to give them that freebie. Even if you have to smoke in for it, just go kill that damn tree. Looks like there's a big fight up top. Why'd that go put? Well, I remember this one. So Clock goes in, and then Clock sees 4 people as he's running away. Yep, so you see the Underlord TPing in. You see this guy come down the stairs, and Bristleback has a chance to run away, and he doesn't. So this is probably... is this the first big mistake of the game? I think so. I watched further on one of the other perspectives, but I'm going to say, at this point, Clock is running away. Why do I not see? Alright. Clock is running away. Clock saw the Tusk coming down these stairs. Clock also saw the Underlord TP in here. So now Bristleback, or the team, maybe not Bristleback, but everyone else on the entire team as a group knows that there's 4 people in this area. You have to communicate that to the Bristle so that he doesn't dive here, because he had a chance. He was over here for a little bit, and now he's running into the wave here, trying to get a weird kill on the PA. That's not going to happen, and basically dies for nothing. It's inefficient for their team to all be there, but you guys got to find something else to do in order to make up for that efficiency. So you guys have to really farm well. You guys do have a slight farming advantage, but you also got a good 4 kill advantage, so I'd say you're doing great so far. Your draft is supposed to win at all stages of the game. Better early and then slightly less of an advantage later, but that's fine. Looks like right now you still have it. So that bristleback death probably wasn't that big of a deal. Let's check net worth. I remember this. So the Dazzle feeds for no reason. Doesn't kill the tree, doesn't get wards down. Kind of runs up that hill and does nothing. I remember talking about that on the Dazzle replay. No reason to go over that again. Dusa and Bristleback are still top net worth, and by a comfortable margin. Like, you guys have a huge amount of gold ahead of these guys, so I wonder how this all falls apart. I think it's the bottom fight. I remember seeing a fight in bottom that goes really poorly early on. Alrighty. This might be it. Kind of looks like it is going to be. Alright. Yep, this is the fight. So Ursa goes in. Ursa should not be going in. Clock screws himself over by getting caught. Bristleback is still pushing past, which I guess, kind of a good off-laner thing, not unreasonable. So Bristleback's doing his thing. I need to go back to my perspective. Alright, so Ursa's running away. He realizes that was a mistake going in for the kill. Clock goes in instead. Instead of blocking with the cogs, he traps himself, gets himself killed. Looks like Dazzle tries to stay to save him rather than running. So I think Dazzle's going to die, and then Ursa's going to come in and root himself and also get killed. Nope, everyone's still alive here. Why does this fight go so badly? Okay, well, everyone was alive. Yep, so he dies. Okay, yeah, so I did remember that correctly. I thought they all died. Okay, but elsewhere, the Bristleback did get a kill on the Zeus, so that's good. So you guys are trading your 1, 4, and 5 for the P2. Not excellent, but at least Bristleback's doing okay. He crushed his lane and is it's a shame. Was a little too overzealous. Thought he could take the PA, and he could not. Okay. Alright, so they're diving tier 1s, and of course, this is the tower you're supposed to give up on. It's okay to make the enemy team pay for it, but really, the tier 1 tower in your safe lane has to be given up to the enemy so you guys can do other things. So you guys defending this is not excellent in the strategic sense. You guys should be basically dominating this top side, and you guys should be sort of playing on this end of the map. Whoop, where's my damn? You guys should be taking over this area, and then you guys should just leave the enemy to allow them to live in that area as a consolation, because it's less farm. If you take mid as well as the enemy safe lane, then you're winning. But you don't want to let the enemy take yours mid and safe lane. But you have a safe lane advantage. You killed the enemy tier 1, and they don't have it. Alright, so Clock is going to initiate here. That's good. Poison plus that. Oh, and he gets stuck on the other side of the cogs. That's fantastic. Of course, Clock has screwed himself over by getting stuck in the cogs without a way to get out. And Snapfire ulti is close by, so that's bad. He graves himself. He's already in the root, so get out of the root and then TP. I don't think that'll work. Yeah, waited too long. That's a shame. Oh, still gets the tusk though. So that's not the worst thing. But you guys are losing a lot of people now. Alright, Ursa's finally back up. You guys are going to do something, I imagine. Alright, down 2 kills, but you still have a slight farming advantage. That's good. Going for top again? Nope. You guys really need to play top. So there's no reason for you guys to continue to stay in this bottom lane area. So just consider this bottom triangle dead. You want to take mid lane and everything north of that on this side of the triangle. If you control these 2 lanes, you can basically concede this lane to the enemy and keep your 2/3 advantage. Alright, Clock is just hanging out. Dazzle's hanging out. Ursa's farming slow. Actually, let's check items. Let's see what you guys have been building. Bristleback got the hood, stopped before getting pipe, and is now going purse. That's probably going to be for the Lotus Orb I saw earlier. Not excellent. Really wish he'd finish the pipe or start building the halberd pieces. If you get the Sange, you get the extra strength, tank up a little bit, or you get the evasion talisman. That would have been better. Dazzle has arcane boots. That's okay. The arcane boots can be disassembled later to give you part of the Aeon disc, so that's good. You combine the point booster with the health booster thing, and then the recipe to get Aeon Disc, so that's good. Dusa has a Yasha, not excellent. Probably going for the Manta. It's okay, whatever. Oh, Dragonlance is already finished. Never mind. Okay, so I didn't see that. So Dragonlance is good. That's the more expected item. And then going for the Yasha instead of finishing the Pike is okay. But either way, I hope that that obviously is going to get finished into it's probably going to get finished into a Manta, and then this is hopefully going to get finished into a Hurricane Pike, like I talked about earlier in the draft. Urn of Shadows, big mistake on the Clockwork. You need a Force Staff, or go for something with more utility. There's not a lot of life-stealing heroes on the enemy team. You don't need the sustain as much with the Dazzle and the Dusa. If you'd gotten an Ags, you could have double stunned. You're probably going to be broke this whole game. But Force Staff is a nice cheap item to help save people, especially the Force movement. With the Ice Shards and the Root, you have to get it. Ursa, that's right, he's going for Battle Fury. This is going to be a super late Battle Fury. That's not going to work out well at all. 15 minutes, you have the Broadsword and the Void Stone. You still need Claymore and Ring of Health. So that's 2,200 more gold, and your total net worth is 49. Wow, that's going to be a really late, Battle Fury. I don't know how long it's going to take you to gather up the farm for that, and then you're not going to get the value out of it because I don't think you're going to be able to power a jungle for 20 minutes. Maybe you can. Maybe the supports will do some super stacking, and you'll have a great setup. But I really wish that was straight into a Morbid Mask and a Basher, and then you single smoke yourself into the Roche Pit. You get a solo Aegis with just a Basher and a Mask of Madness, which you probably could afford with a lot of this. If you hadn't gone Phase Boots and you hadn't gone these two items, and that was a Morbid Mask, and those two items were Brown Boots and a Basher, you probably could have solo Roached. And as an Ursa player, you have to sort of get a feel for what the minimum amount of equipment and gold and items are you can solo Roche with. But as an Ursa, that's huge. You really need to get that team fight Aegis by yourself, all to yourself. And the way to do it is to get the minimum items you need, which is usually just Basher and Morbid Mask. Smoke yourself into the pit, and then somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, you get the Aegis to yourself, and the rest of the team just doesn't feel, or the rest of the enemy team doesn't feel like fighting you, realizing that you suddenly have this weird advantage that they didn't expect you to have that early. All right, let's see. Back to the team play here. Someone's getting ganked bottom, it looks like, or pressured bottom. That's fine. Orange needs to get out of this area, so Bristleback needs to stop playing sort of by himself 1v4 at this point. This is kind of weird. You need to be shoving the Bristleback into the enemy lanes and then have the rest of the team behind him to back him up. So the Bristleback challenging and baiting people is good. The problem is he's doing it by himself. The enemy has 3 heroes behind the person that he's going on, so Bristle is 1v4 and the rest of your guys are jungling. You need to be doing the same thing, but you need to be shoving the Bristle into the top tier 2, and you need to have the rest of the team either jungling right behind him in this area or ready to counter initiate on whoever's coming behind him. You guys have an early advantage, and you're throwing it away. Alright, so now Bristle's in a weird spot. Maybe he dies, maybe he doesn't. Okay, he does die. As expected. And everyone else continues to hide in the jungle. Yeah. No Battle Fury on the Ursa. No Aegis on the Ursa. No Rapier Rush on the Dusa. So you guys are thinking of going late, but your advantage gets worse late. You're down 3 kills, but you're out farming, so that's good. Fight potentially breaking out here, not sure. Okay. That's all right. So that's the thing with the Clockwork Cogs. When you've got heroes that can jump out easily, you run in, you cogs them, and then they get out, and then suddenly you're out of position. You've wasted all the value of your battery assault because you're not micro-stunning them anymore, and they're off doing something else, and you have to then deny one of your own cogs to then go chase them again, but they're probably too far away. You're never going to catch up. So this gap isn't going to be closed, and the Clockwork's value as an initiator is sort of lost. Whereas if you have a Force Staff, you run in, you cogs him, he jumps out, you Force Staff, and you're still right on his ass. So now you're basically counting on your team to make up for you. Alright, Snapfire gets a good ult here. Ursa's running in, but he's got no farm and no items, so Ursa can't do anything right now, because Ursa isn't really a carry yet. Okay, Bristleback is diving and splitting the team. That's okay. But see, now you basically traded off whoever your guys are chasing. You know, they're trying to get one little support back here somewhere, whoever this guy is, I don't remember. And then the Bristleback is going to try and dive these four. The problem is Bristleback can't do that. Bristleback isn't nearly strong enough. And the last time he tried to do this, which was like a minute ago, he died right here in this bottom jungle. So Bristleback is basically suiciding again for the second time, and the rest of your team is chasing a support or something. I don't remember who you're chasing. Maybe you're not chasing them. I thought you guys were chasing someone. Oh, you are. Okay, you're chasing that Tusk. So your whole team is trying to kill a position 4, but you traded your position 3 offlaner Bristleback for it, who just formerly was second net worth in the game. So you killed number 9 in the game in exchange for number 2, who has now fallen to number 4. So that's a huge throw. You guys just lost the gold lead because of that trade, and everything looks much worse. Should let the Tusk go and backed up the Bristleback, or called the Bristleback back with you as you all collapse on the Tusk. That's just not excellent team coordination. Still no hint of a Roche attempt. You guys aren't setting up wards for it. No one's thinking about it. Bach isn't getting initiations with the Ursa, so I was thinking maybe you get the clock to gank. The problem with the Ursa trying to farm up this Battle Fury is the Ursa's not going to be even remotely interested in following the clockwork to go gank somebody. So ideally, the buildup would have been Ursa gets Morbid Mask, Basher, goes and gets an Aegis. Oh, excuse me. And then with his Basher, he goes with Clockwork. Clockwork cogs somebody in that can't get away, ideally the Zeus. And then Ursa just beats him to death, and then you guys continue to run around and harass him while someone like Medusa farms. But now you've got this setup where Medusa's trying to farm the same jungle shit as the Ursa, and the Medusa has no value against the PA late game because, again, the Medusa can't stop the PA. You guys can all sort of hide around the Medusa and use it as like a mobile machine gun turret and hope that you can get close enough to the giant gun that it keeps you safe. But really, PA is just going to be bouncing around the fight, killing other people, and Medusa's not going to be able to stop him unless she gets like a prince's knife or some other weird thing. So really, you're counting on the Ursa to shut down the PA, and you're not even trying to itemize or group up for that. Alright, a lot of skirmishes here, a lot of skirmishes. You guys are pretty close on net worth overall. Deuce is farming well, which is good, but again, all that net worth is wasted. Deuce is not the one that you need the net worth on. You need it on that Ursa, who's back to 6th place in net worth. Okay, so their team is 5-manning up. You guys are 4-manning and running away. Interesting. Ursa just got his Battle Fury after 20 minutes. Not excellent at all. So the Bristleback is again pushing, and I guess he's probably doing this because of a lack of sort of options. So Bristleback is up here trying to force his tier 2, but you guys got to be behind him. Like, there's no reason for you guys to be defensively sort of, I wish I could draw on this map here. There's no reason for you guys to be hiding back here in your triangle while the Bristleback is across the river, across this jungle, and solo pushing this tier 2. If you guys are going to jungle these camps here, you might as well just jungle these ones as well, because these camps are just as valuable as these camps, other than the Ancients, of course, unless you've stacked them. But otherwise, you're here, you're closer, you can force objectives, and then if Bristleback gets jumped on, you guys can sort of take a fight or back him up. But by jungling so far away from the one person on your team that's pushing, you're sort of like running 2 different strats right now. And it's not going to end well. Alright, so Bristleback's continuing to do his thing and harass. You guys are collapsing for a defense. Okay. Bristleback gets there too early, and he's all alone. You guys come in, I hope. Save him. He doesn't have Lotus Orb, so he can't purge the stun or the root. But if you guys get the Underlord, that'd be really good. You guys should get that guy. Really? There you go. Good shit. Alright. So Bristleback kills the Underlord, and you guys don't do anything. Alright, so at this point you guys should be smoking and chasing. I don't think you've used a smoke in the entire game. Dazzle has one. Clock has one. Clock has a book. He needs to open the book. Clock doesn't have any wards. Dazzle has 3 wards. You guys need to be smoking and chasing off that kill. So that was a good kill. You killed that guy. You nuked the wave. The wave's going to shove into the tier 2. At this point, you need to smoke and you need to invade. You need to get some deep wards and maybe a pickoff. Because worst case scenario, you smoke. They realize it's coming. They back out. They hide. You just run in here, and worst case scenario, you drop some deep offensive wards in this area, you kill their jungle camps, and then you continue to force either the mid tier 2 or the top tier 2. Best case scenario, you catch this idiot Pink over here trying to farm something, and then you guys get another freebie kill while you're 5v4. So not doing anything right here is going to be very inefficient. And it looks like you guys are spreading out to jungle. Okay. Dazzle gets pump faked on and gun. Yeah, you guys are spreading out and juggling again. Huge mistake. You guys aren't doing much. Ursa still isn't trying to Roche, I guess. Does he have a Morbid? Okay, so he's thinking about getting a Morbid before the Basher, which is good. Ursa really needs that Morbid so he can solo Roche. Bristleback is once again diving without his entire team, or without anyone on the team, and might be in a weird position. No, he's going to get away. Alright, it's nice that whoever this guy is with him, but you really got to do more to back up the Bristle if he's going to shove like this. Because you're not going to kill the tier 2 with just the Bristle. Like, the Bristle isn't going to solo take out the tier 2 and win your the lanes. He's really trying. I'm kind of surprised this whole team hasn't rotated to save the Underlord. Like, the Underlord should be telling his whole team to show up right now. Alright, well they both survived. They're both super tanky. That's fine. Okay, you guys got a Tusk kill somewhere in exchange for a Dazzle. That's fine. Oh, in exchange for the Ursa. That's terrible. So you guys lost Dazzle and Ursa for the Tusk. I didn't even see that. The directed camera didn't want to show me. But that's a terrible trade. I don't know if you guys didn't have everybody there or what, but you guys are juggling too much. You're not forcing objectives. You're down 3 kills, but down less than 1,000 gold. That's not bad. Alright, so that was a wasted Deusta ult. I think Deusta's Stone Gaze for nothing. You guys are trying to defend a tier 1, which isn't a lot of value. Okay, Ursa dies again, out of position. Ursa's going for kills, but he doesn't have like the farm to get these kills. Okay. Weird stuff. Okay, that's something. So I did just see the Clockwork Flare. There's not enough of those, though. The Clockwork Flare should be going out constantly. Push out any side lane that doesn't have people in it, like this lane right here. Clockwork Flare that, flare this, flare that. Throw flares every time they're off cooldown in this late game, just for vision. And if not for vision, then push the lanes. Because you want the lanes as pushed out as possible. Especially so Roche can, or so that Ursa can eventually remember that there's a Roche pit and then go for it. But yeah, Clockwork Flares should almost never be on cooldown. Like this is a huge mistake in Clockwork play. Alright, let's do another item check, see what you guys are buying. Morbid, Ursa is going for the Basher, that's right. Clock has, hell, this doesn't even work that well. No. Directed camera. Alright, so Clockwork is going for Spirit Vessel. Again, big mistake. That money for the upgrade from Urn to Spirit Vessel could have been your Force Staff. And again, like your Urn has 0 charges. I don't think. I imagine you've probably picked up like 1 or 2 charges this entire game, and they're not helping you. You still have this branch, so this is one of those things that's about. You ate one of those branches in lane to get a little bit extra regen, and then you just backpack this one. This branch is completely wasted now. You never got a stick. Which is what you should have gotten. You should have got a magic wand with it, and it's just wasted now. You got tangos sitting in your backpack, even though you got tranquil boots. Like, if you're not going to use these, just go sell them next time you run by the shop, because you're what, 300, 240 some gold away from your whatever. Sell this, sell that. That gives you, not a lot, but it'll give you another 50 to 100, and then you're, sort of working your way back up towards getting whatever items you need, but just leaving like this extra 100 worthless gold that you've saved since minute -1 in your backpack is really inefficient. You shouldn't have consumables from the beginning of the pregame. Alright, so Deusa did go Pike and Manta, that's fine, and MKB. Okay, so this is, I'm not sure about the Manta, but Pike and MKB is exactly what I expected. So this is exactly correct, I think. Pike is necessary. MKB is necessary. I don't think the Manta style is necessary. Yeah, I would have skipped the Manta and then gone straight for the MKB. That's just me. How much does the Manta cost? That whole bunch is 4,600 gold. The MKB is 4,800. You already have the Javelin. Yeah, so you could trade the Manta style for your MKB at this point. You're not using the illusions to like scout. I don't think I've seen you throw the Manta illusions out, and that'd be fine. If you cast the Manta and then sent one illusion over here to like steal this enemy camp, and sent one illusion over here to steal this enemy camp, that's okay. Because basically you're denying the enemy some farm, you're getting some vision, whatever. But I think you've been saving this Manta style just for like team fights and stuff. So that's basically a waste. At this point, that Wraith Band isn't doing anything, so go ahead and sell that. Whatever the next item is, it's going to replace basically the other Wraith Band, or probably this Magic Stick. So this is 500 gold just sitting here wasting your inventory. So go ahead and get rid of that. But the MKB is the right idea. All right, Dazzle, going for Rod of Atos. No. I don't think that's excellent. Where are the BKBs on the enemy team? They don't have any yet? Okay. You don't have any AoE spells where you really want to lock people in place. Clockwork's got his cogs where it holds them in, and Ursa likes people to be, sort of stuck in place for him. Same thing with Dusa, to hit people. But the Rod of Atos isn't excellent. If they're chasing people down, Clockwork has his microstun. He's got the cogs to hold them. Ursa's going to have Basher. He should be going for an Abyssal. Bristleback slows people. Dazzle slows people. The Atos seems like it's pretty low value here. You don't have like the Firestorm Pit of Malice combo, so it's not like you can like double your Firestorm waves. The Atos doesn't directly multiply any other spells, so I don't think that's a great purchase here. And I would have rather seen you go straight for Aeon Disc, because with PA having Deso Basher and then probably this Ogre X is probably the start of a BKB. You probably really need the defensive Aeon Disc just to make sure that in the team fights, which again you haven't really had any, but when you eventually do group up as 5 and you have a big team fight, you survive long enough to get the Shallow Grave off. And Bristleback, Lotus Orb, going for Octarine and then Blade Mail. Not even completing the hood into a pipe. Okay, so I'm going to say that's a mistake. The hood should be going into a pipe. The Lotus Orb was a mistake. The Octarine Core as your next purchase is a mistake. The Lifesteal off of the quills, the spells isn't that great. The slight cooldown isn't that great. Again, PA is really starting to become a problem. PA is level 17. It's higher level than everybody else. Your Deuce is a little bit ahead, but again, Deuce can't stop him. 9 and 1 on the PA. This guy's going to continue to snowball, especially with the Deso pickup. You really need that Halberd. I don't think you have the luxury of spamming more quills with an Octacore than disarming the enemy's carry. Blade Mail I don't mind as much. That's not a terrible purchase. If you had gotten Blade Mail instead of Lotus Orb, that would have been okay. But getting Blade Mail this late as your 1, 2, 3, 4th item seems kind of odd. I would either go Blade Mail beforehand, and even with just what you have right now, like if I was taking over your keyboard right now, I would go, well, actually I'd go for the pipe first, but I would get rid of the Octacore and then go Blade Mail instead. Finish the pipe, probably queue up the Halberd, and then side queue the Blade Mail as well, because the Blade Mail isn't bad at all. I mean, it helps, since you're probably going to be expecting to take a lot of damage, but you have a really small health pool. You didn't get a Sange from a Halberd, so you're looking at 2,000 health here, so you're not really reflecting that much. You don't have a heart. If you had a heart, the Blade Mail would make a lot more sense. If you're planning on going heart, it would. If you're planning on going Halberd and you're going to get the extra strength, it would help. But with just what you have here and all this magic-y shit, the Blade Mail doesn't seem like a lot of value. So you really need to be the Halberd and the pipe carrier. But you're not getting the pipe and you're not getting the Halberd. Maybe you are getting the pipe. The headdress. Why is your headdress in your backpack? Do you have a courier on the way? Maybe I'm not giving you enough credit. Maybe there's a pipe flying out to you on a courier. Can't select your courier. Which one is yours? Okay, I'm wrong. You have a recipe flying out to you, so that's good. I would have preferred it before Losor, but the fact that you actually have the pipe recipe coming out, that's good. So I take back that part. Alrighty. I don't think there are going to be any big team fighting. So you guys are keeping up in farm. You're down 5 kills, but you're not too far behind in gold. So the Deuce is farming well, at least. Nobody else is. Deuce is at least getting a lot of camps. Okay, so right now you're split. So this is another good example. Most of the enemy team is here. Okay, in this case it's only 4, but you guys have someone way out here. Purple is over here doing their thing. Orange is still trying to take that off lane, and really, Orange should be telling the rest of the team that they need to play in this area and give up on their own safe lane. But either way, you guys are now getting picked off here in a 3v4. So this is the kind of split up team fight thing that's hurting you. And has Ursa even tried to Roche once? Still don't have a Basher. Okay. Still needs that Basher. You should have gotten the Basher like at 12 minutes. Okay, Bristleback gets popped by everyone. You're down 6 kills, but still keeping your gold. So maybe just everyone that's dying is worthless, and somehow who do they keep killing over and over? Clockwork and the Dazzle. Bristol got 5 deaths. I'm kind of surprised you guys are within, within their sort of network bracket. This looks like it's going worse here. Clockwork, and this PA is now going ham on everybody. The PA is just styling on you at this point. 11-1, long BKB duration. Probably going to continue to kill you guys. Yeah, I feel like the game is over at this point. Yeah. PA takes out 4 of your team. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I don't think there are going to be any large sort of critiques on whatnot. I feel like we discussed the strategy. We discussed what your team should have done, or what your team needs to do to defeat their composition. And it's basically disable and kill PA. And I don't think you guys are going to have that anytime soon. So this is 28. And somehow you guys dragged this out for 50 minutes. But I'm going to say that this is probably the beginning of the end here. I'm just going to... Yeah, you're now down 10 kills and probably playing on the defensive for a while. No Roshin at all. Yeah, alright, we're just going to go ahead and drop it here. This is too long of a video anyway.